What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
You know, every day above ground's a good day,
Oh
right?
yeah. Hey, it's your day off, isn't it?
No, I had a meeting this morning and then I had to go to work and then I had to race back here. I didn't think I was going to get to you in time because I was stuck in traffic. So I'm texting you like, "Hey man, like I'm on my way."
Oh, it's all good, man.
Mm.
I was already doing other things, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm just gonna send you this. Like, get in
Yeah,
whenever you feel
exactly.
like
No,
it.
I was like, "All right, let me pee and check my messages and then I could jump on here."
I know how you feel about that and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I wanted to start out. We'll get on to the other things that like people probably be like, yes, we want to hear and everything,
Yeah.
but I wanted to start out with like your life and everything, because I know, you grew up in New Jersey, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
South Jersey.
How long did you grow up in Jersey before you moved to PA?
I didn't move to PA until 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
I lived in Connecticut for a while. I lived in Arizona for a while. I lived in Vancouver, British Columbia for a while for college. But the bulk of my life, I've lived in South Jersey. That's where I was born and moved around that general area. Lived down the Jersey Shore for a while. I ran a lot of movie theaters, so I got moved around a lot with movie theaters and you, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? Because I know and everything. Do you ever plan on like going back to Jersey at all, or are you kind of like, oh, I want to be in PA? You know?
I kind of want to stay in PA for now. Probably move a little bit closer to the studio space that we're putting together,
Mhm.
because there'll be more projects coming. But right now, I'm since October, I've been running a local movie theater not far from where I live now, and it's a 15-minute drive, and it's fine. It's right, because the place I used to run was an hour away
Ooh,
and sometimes it would take me as much as 3 hours to get there and all that, so that was too much. But
Jesus.
I lived in Jersey because I was helping a friend get through nursing school, so I stayed closer to where her school was so that we had a central base of operation. And once she was gone and I was ready to move on to another thing, I was just like, bye New Jersey.
Well, the one thing I was uh that should ask and everything. Where was that movie theater you used to work at?
I used to have the Anthony Wayne in Wayne, Pennsylvania. It was like, Villanova University.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
It's like literally right up the street from Villanova University. It's kind of there's a thing called the main line in Philly, and my theater sat directly in the center of the main line. My production company logo is the facade of that theater with a giant film monster coming out of the top of it. Because that pretty much the all of the things that I wrote that mean the most to me in the last, because I was there for 6 years. I wrote there, so that theater will always have like a very special place in my heart, but it no longer exists. It closed down during COVID after I left there to go work at Screenwave Media, and so now it belongs to the township or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that happens. That happens all the
Mhm.
freaking time. Like I grew up in Scottsdale, PA, and
Mhm.
and I grew up in other places and stuff. But my mom was telling me about it, and she's like, Geyer Theater. She's like, I remember going there watching movies and stuff as a little kid, and
Yeah.
it's like an actual physical theater now. And
Mhm.
and I remember as a kid, we used to, me and my friend, I'm not going to say her name, but she knows who
Yeah.
she is. She'll see her and stuff,
Mhm.
but purposes and stuff.
Yeah.
But, um, but she really, how do I say this? We sold tickets and stuff in middle school and everything to show
Mhm.
movies and stuff because there'd be like the why can't I say it? The Godzilla movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the guys in the theater used to also, because a lot of the movies weren't in English and they weren't even
Mhm.
transferred to English, they used to just make fun of stuff.
Oh,
So
cool,
they
cool.
used to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just
So
talk over.
they would do like a repertory night where they
Oh,
would do like retro stuff. Yeah, I used to do that in a lot of my theaters as well. That was like one of the fun things to do once you became a booking manager and all that kind of stuff. You could start to bring in films, and I would run things just for my friends a lot of times because I used to have a lot of old film prints as well and old trailers. So I would just not tell the staff what I was going to run, and I would put together something crazy that they've never seen before, and get together and they would smoke a little bit and drink, and have a good time.
Those are the good times. What are you talking about?
They were, yeah, man. I miss those times.
Oh, man, I wish I had. I wish there was a theater. Well, technically, I could probably do that. My theater that's 20 something minutes away. I'm in between towns and stuff where it's
Mhm.
like big theater this way, that way. They closed during the pandemic.
Mhm.
I watched Endgame there, and it was
Okay.
good and stuff. But
Yeah.
there's another theater too, about 15 minutes away. They closed a while ago. I went there when I was a little kid. I think I saw the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one
Oh,
or the second one. There was like one theater, I think, or
yeah.
maybe two, but it was
I had a single screen theater as well in a place called Pittman, New Jersey, and it was this beautiful. If you watch my channel, I tell my ghost story from there. Beautiful old theater, but super creepy. At night and all that kind of stuff. But that was where I ran a lot of old things. I did like a Friday the 13th, 1, 2, and 3 triple feature and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
see, that's what we used to do at our
Mhm.
the arts and everything. We used to get them, they sent it always sold out, and then they're like, oh, it's not making enough money, and I'm like, is it
Mhm.
really not making enough money? I'm like, what do you have to give money to copyrights to Freddy versus
Well, yeah,
Jason or
you do.
anything?
You have to rent the films from the depot, and then you have to pay the rights holders. It depends, you
I
know.
don't think they were doing that.
Oh, they weren't doing that? Okay, never
Well,
mind then.
this
Well,
was a
you're a lot younger than me too. So if it was digital, it's probably a different story. We would have to get the film print, and then you would have to
oh yeah.
report. Oh no, yeah, and you would have to report your grosses. Sometimes they would want 15% plus the rental fee, and that's how I did it for the longest time. You know.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you
I did,
really had to hope that certain films did well.
well, I don't think this was a so this theater has been around since before my mom was alive, and she's
Mhm.
67 or
Yeah.
68. So it was like a regular theater
Mhm.
where you had plays and stuff, but then they had a huge screen that came down
Yeah.
for the new movies that come out and everything every Friday or Saturday night.
Mhm.
But like I said though, it was 2010, and I'm pretty sure they were just like, oh, do you want to watch 1, 2, and 3
Yeah,
of Nightmare on
exactly.
Elm Street or whatever? I don't think they
Mhm.
paid, and I don't think they're going to care about. I don't think a studio is going to be like, we'll get my money in that town that has 2,000
But
people in it.
there was a time period when they would though, and they would come after you. Trust me, I know.
Real? Why? What happened?
I have a framed letter in my office that I take with me everywhere that's a cease and desist from Lucasfilms.
For which Star Wars movie?
The original three film prints. We had found a guy selling them on Craigslist. We went and we bought them, and we were going to run it. And we were just promoting it through Rowan University, which was the college out by that theater. And somehow Lucasfilms found out about it and sent a cease and desist letter. So I keep it framed because it's like the closest I'll ever get to Star Wars.
Who snitched? Who snitched?
I don't know. I think somebody put it on their MySpace. That's how long ago that was, you know?
That was last time I actually I had an account.
Yeah, me too.
I
I'm kind
had
of glad
one.
I can't get back into it because I'd hate to read what an emo little bitch I was in some of those like posts.
That's it. I was like that email guy back then and
Mhm.
stuff. That emo shit was like in
Well,
elementary
not
school
I
for me.
wasn't like I'll never like have the hair in front of my face and wear the gloves with no fingers. I just
I didn't
mean
do
like
that.
the sad boy self-loathing crap that you do and when you look back at it and you go, what a little bitch.
What the fuck are you
Like
bitching
I
about?
would kick that kid's ass,
Oh yeah.
you know?
I look back at Facebook like that. I'm like, oh god,
Yeah,
no.
exactly. That's what I was thinking.
What the fuck was I doing? And I understand it was a
Mhm.
different time, but
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Jesus. But I can't believe that Lucasfilm did that to you.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I was like, at first I was scared, but then I was like, this is great. Like, you know, so we just ran it for ourselves and we watched all three original ones in one day and it was
What
cool, you know?
what the heck were they really gonna do though? Like,
Oh no, they can rain down fire. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah, you know? Like
to who though? To who? The bunch of college
lawyers,
kids?
they got lawyers everywhere.
But my mom used to be a lawyer and
Mhm.
stuff, but like certain things are just sent to be like
I think it's more just to scare
scared.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she's like. It's scary because it's like what are you gonna do? You gonna ask for your $50 out of all those
Yeah.
tickets they sold?
Like, good luck getting blood from a stone, dude. I lived with my parents at that point, you know?
We're like, you said a college and stuff. Like college
Yeah.
kids are fucking broke.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
100%.
yeah, I know. I have a wife that went to college and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been together since 2015,
Yeah.
and that's high school. And all those college years, damn, talking about a Christmas present from her. No.
Mm-hmm.
Birthday present, no. Do you want to buy
No.
something to eat? No. But when she gets
Yeah.
a job and stuff, oh, I get all the shit. She's making it up all now.
Yeah.
But you're speaking of Star Wars though. You did tell me before though, and you said that you said, I can't say it. Well, I can't say Revenge of, no, why can't I? New Hope and New Hope and
Empire and
Empire.
Jedi.
I can't. Yeah,
The
not
original three.
I kept
Yeah.
trying to say Return of the Jedi. I have freaking Star Wars looking at me right now with a
Yeah.
wall of lightsabers and stuff, and I have all the DVDs and Blu-ray sitting in front of me.
Well,
and I can't.
you're very intimidated to meet someone as famous as me.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? There's somebody's impersonating you on TikTok right now.
That's what I heard. Yeah, you sent me that the other day. I was like, that's weird.
It's, you know, it's really weird. I've seen them comment on videos and act like you. They don't post any. They don't
I might have
post
to
anything.
look into that.
They don't.
Yeah, I might have to look into that. Someone's impersonating me, because I was like, I don't know if I ever started a TikTok before. I don't remember ever starting one before. So
it has like 16 followers, and then the only person they're following is Hack the Movies on there, and I'm like, okay, maybe this was you at a time. So
no,
I was
I
like,
don't know.
you know, but I mean,
I
you
don't
should
know.
make.
Yeah, I should make one. I also got to get on Discord. I never did Discord either. It's just like,
I never got onto that. I thought that was only for
Yeah.
like video games and stuff. I'm not the proper. I have a bunch of stuff behind me. There's a TV and my couch and
Yeah.
everything behind me for my man cave to play video games with all the systems and stuff. Like in front of me, there's an old TV for PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But I've never been like a huge online gamer guy and everything.
No,
like,
I've never been much of a gamer in general, and it's weird because I have a couple producing credits for video games that I worked on, but it's just never been
Cinemassacre.
like. Yeah, no, I produced ABGN 1 and 2 Deluxe, and then 3 other games for that company as well.
Yeah.
During the time that I was there, but mostly just running the games department, making sure things got moved along as they had to get moved along. There's a whole lot of back end stuff that goes into getting your games online and whatnot. So I learned a lot of that because I didn't know anything about that industry whatsoever. So I learned a lot in a year while also producing 4 shows, while also being the office manager and the inventory manager and stuff like that. So there was a lot of things that I did on top of writing jobs and all that kind of stuff. And that, you know, and you work, you know, I thought I worked hard at my theaters because I was responsible for everything, but I never had stress-induced Bell's palsy from the theaters. So
what is that? What does that affect and everything? Because I've heard
the entire
of it.
left side of my face was paralyzed.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was thinking, I'm like, is that same thing that Jim Ross has?
Yes, exactly. I couldn't see out of my left eye. I couldn't close my eye. You know, my speech was, and I literally I had gone to bed one night, woke up the next morning, and I couldn't move my face. And it was really embarrassing too, because at the time I was on the other YouTube show, and we were doing conventions and signings and stuff like that. So I just wore my COVID mask everywhere. And just like, because other people were taking them off for pictures, I wouldn't do it. And I said, oh, I'm worried about getting sick. But really, it was just because I was so embarrassed that people could see that, like, I couldn't talk properly. I couldn't put, my eye was like drifted off and all messed up. I had to tape it shut to sleep. Yeah, that was and it lasted for about 2 months.
How did you record and everything then?
I just wasn't in anything for a really long period of time. Yeah.
Oh, is that why it goes from, you know, awesome to like what the
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. I don't honestly, like, I never really watched the ones since I haven't been there. And then during that period of time, they're hard to watch because my life was kind of in bad shape at that time. So I try to kind of avoid a lot of the things from that period of time as I'm in kind of recovery right now, like not drugs and alcohol, but like mental health recovery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's, you know,
No,
Try not to dwell in that period of time.
no, I'm not. No,
Yeah.
just because of what happened, and no matter what and stuff, it doesn't mean I'm not going to watch the show and everything
Oh yeah,
because
whatever. I don't ask people to take sides or choose or anything like that. I'm doing my own thing, and yeah, it's Bush League. I'm sitting in the same spot I'm in right now. I'm recording in my kitchen. But it makes me super happy just to talk about the shit that I'm actually passionate
oh
about and not
yeah.
things you have to talk about because of a company and all that. Because I lost my passion for film. Like, you you're doing things you don't really care about. You're making other people's dreams come true, and you're being marginalized more and more. And it just becomes the point where you lose your taste for it. So there was a period, like I would say before the Bell's palsy, I was just having to grin and bear it. Like I was drinking on the show, like to be funny, but it was really because I was trying to add something to the show by being a little bit more loose because I lost my passion for film and filmmaking and writing and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of took after they let me go and after my life kind of hit the shitter of like reinvesting myself and where is your passion? What do you like? What, all that stuff. So I'm back into like I was telling you before, I can't talk about it, but I got offered a writing assignment, which like to think that they would ask me to do that is so crazy because this is a person that I've admired for so long. So maybe that won't help what won't happen like a lot of other things I've been involved in, but just to even be thought of is like the coolest thing in the world because for a while there I was told no one's ever going to hire you. You're never going to be able to create again. So it's nice to know that people kind of see that I do have ideas and I am passionate. And every day I work my day job and I run the theater, but every free moment I have, I'm trying to move the needle when it comes to the creative stuff, because even if I don't get paid or go anywhere with it, it's just nice to see your name on things. It's nice to put your ideas out into the world and see who comes back and goes, wow, I like that guy, you know?
Yeah, well, crap. Well, you got to remember, man, is like you can't take anything with you. So I like how you feel about that, because you can't take anything with you, and people don't understand that because it's like all about the money and everything. Like I just saw, this is a random thing to talk about and everything, but like I saw that Tobey Maguire asked for $15 million to be in that new Spider-Man movie. And I'm like sitting there but he only got one. And I'm like, okay, and everything. But like, I was like, if it, like you really pushing it, buddy.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you're not even the star of the freaking movie. And that's how much you got paid in the early 2000s. And it's like, they didn't even give that to Tom and everything, and that's his freaking movie series. So it's like, but like, but my main point of me saying that is it's like you can't take anything with you and stuff, so you should be happy to be able to have.
No, I live by like the Kobe Bryant rules, man. Leave it all on the fucking floor, like,
oh yeah,
you don't know if it's again, I look back at the last review I ever did on that show and I go, man, it could have been so much better. You never know when it's going to be your last anything. So
which one was that? I gotta ask.
Van Helsing.
Fuck, that is the one. I'm like,
yeah, that's my last. That's the last episode. That's the last episode I shot, and it was the last one I was in, and it was right after I was cleared from the Bell's palsy. So I was already kind of not in a good mental state and like kind of still worried about my face and stuff like that. So it wasn't my best performance and all. And I look at it and go, man, I could have done so much better. But you never know. You never know when it's going to be your last day at a job, your last review, your last day on earth. So just like try to put something out there that you can be proud of, because you never know.
Yeah, an old man already has told me before, and I'm pretty sure they probably heard it from somebody else and stuff, but we're not promised tomorrow. We're not at all. You can die in your sleep.
Yeah, no, and I had cancer, and I've been.
That's what I wanted to talk about and everything. I wanted to talk about your experience and stuff with that, because you defeated cancer. You know what I mean? It doesn't always happen.
No, I was lucky that mine was caught as early as it was. I used to play in a like a beer league for ice hockey, and I was complaining about my back, and this people I work with are like, that's because you're getting old, blah blah blah. And I was I was rear-ended by the woman who ran Victoria's Secret in the mall that my theater was in. That's the theater where I met Justin Silverman. He was my, we worked together at Regal, and I went to the doctor about my back, and they had found these inflamed like lymph nodes, and it turns out that I had a mass that was close to my spinal cord. So I went through about a year and a half of treatments. They had to cut like a dam around it to make sure that it didn't spread. They had to cut out a piece of my prostate. It was like a whole thing. But I tell people that period of time, like as hard as that period of time was, it actually wasn't as hard as the last July to November. Like that was actually worse on me than it was, because I got to think about 2004 is when 2005 is when they found it. It went through end of 2006. I lost my job, my fiance, and my health all in a very short period of time. An ex of mine, I was working 2 full-time jobs to make sure that we could afford to live together, because she didn't have a job. She was in college at the time, or not college, but like a massage school, and all this stuff was going on. As I was working, she was becoming closer and closer friends with my then best friend, and then the two of them got together and got married and had a kid. And she and I are friends again now. She does special effects makeup for me sometimes, because I'm a very forgiving person, because again, you never know, like everybody fits into our story in some way, and some people go away forever and it's fine. Some people are caught up in rough circumstances, and you try to put yourself in other people's shoes. And I've been a pretty angry guy for most of my life. I'm short, I don't really have a lot of money, and I'm not very attractive, so I've got a lot of projecting that I do. But you just get to a point where you go, some people, it's just better off if they're still life adjacent to you. So it took about a decade, but finally we were able to reconcile and become friends again. I'm hoping I can do that with some other people in my life. I'm not sure if that will ever happen, but I always leave the door open a smidge for people, because, you never know what the future can hold, and you never know if people are going through things and they're going to need you, and you're in a better place, like they were in a better place and they helped you. So I'm trying very hard to not be angry and just be cool,
I know what you mean and stuff. I feel like that all the time, because I've been like that since my wife won't tell you I'm like that. She will, but then she won't at the same time. But I've been like that since 2011, since my father died. And I was just it's all good.
My dad hasn't spoken to me in 2 years, so
I wanted to ask about that, but I don't know if you'll talk about it on here.
It's because I don't want to alienate anybody who's one political ideology or the other. My father was very much the guy who used to be president, and to a degree where it wasn't about policy, it was just about hate. And he said not to speak to me ever again. So that's kind of where we were on that. And I'm willing to talk to anybody, because you find out no matter what race, color, creed, whatever you're in, people have common ground that they can stand on, but everybody has their minds so made up about things that nobody talks anymore.
Oh yeah, I really hate that and stuff. I definitely, because it's like me, it's like I like free healthcare, but I like my guns.
No, exactly. And it's like, you don't have to be all one thing or all the other. Everyone has shades of gray, and we've just become so nobody talks anymore. And I feel like if my dad would just talk to me, we could find a common ground again. Wouldn't be political, because I'm not a person who pushes my ideology. There's a lot of left things I believe, but there's a lot of right things I believe too. I believe in common sense. I want to be one of the few Americans who still believes in common sense and about intellectualism, So he hasn't talked to me in 2 years, and that was hard, because when you're somebody's namesake, it sucks that, but I'm never gonna have kids or anything, so it's not gonna get passed on. Yeah, I'm 40 years old, dude. Like, it ain't gonna happen.
What's that supposed to mean?
I have a cat.
My stupid brother that lives down the street from me and everything. And my other family is going to see this and stuff. And I was saying, I don't care. You know what I mean? My mom might get mad and stuff, but he lives down the road from me. And guess when's the last time he's talked to me?
When's that?
In 2000 and probably 2015.
Wow.
Yeah. Guess what? We used to do a lot of things together. He used to have, he used to do free for at Halloween and stuff. He used to do free mazes and stuff in his
Oh,
backyard and
cool.
everything.
Yeah.
He's tall as shit. I know
Mm-hmm.
he's taller than the guys who play Michael Myers and stuff, but he's a huge fan of Michael Myers. And when he dresses up
Mm-hmm.
as Michael Myers, he's scary.
Yeah.
So, but he used to do that and everything. And the last time I
Mm-hmm.
saw him was he came last year trick-or-treating and stuff, and
Yeah.
he he stood over there and stared at me while I was dressed up as Jason, and he
Yeah.
just like went like this with his knife, and then just that's the last time I've interacted with the man.
Yeah.
But I mean, people are like that, so it really doesn't
Yeah.
matter, you know what I mean? I know why. I'm not going to say the reasons
Mm-hmm.
why, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's because of his his family and the
Yeah,
bowl.
everybody's different, and again, I'm very much in that, like, just trying to I don't, who needs a civil war when people's families are breaking up on each other over nonsense? Like, we just got to
Yeah.
talk to each other. It's even if you don't agree with something or believe in something, that's fine. Never not say it, because it's like, hey, this is making me uncomfortable or something like that.
Yeah.
But the wokeness of everything is bullshit too, because we're just like, everybody's too sensitive about everything. But whatever. I'm old. I'm old, and I was raised a different way, but I also just, like, it makes me sad to know that, like, so much stuff in my life has happened over the last whatever, and good things too and bad things. And there's just certain people who won't speak to me again. But there's also people in my life more recently who I have no interest in recouping a relationship with. I don't wish ill will on people, but I also have learned things about people in the last few months where I go, that's a bridge too far for me. Making fun of mental illness, making fun of suicide attempts, making fun of personal information, stuff like that, where I'm deep into therapy right now myself and working on past traumas and childhood abuse and stuff like that. Anybody who would make fun of those kind of things marginalizes those who are dealing with way more than I've dealt with, and I just can't get down with that at all. Because there are out there who are struggling worse than I ever was, and that's why I'm just like, even people who like came at me in the fall and hate me for what they think I did and all that kind of stuff and what I did do. I still try to talk to people and hear them out, because a lot of people who are angry like that are sad and are lonely, and they're looking for somebody to pay attention to them. So even people who said terrible things to me, I'm like, talk to me, tell me why. And I've actually turned a couple of them into dudes who we check in with each other now. People who said awful things about me, now we just check in with each other. It's like, yo, did you see Jackass Forever? Me and this guy had a conversation the other night about Jackass Forever, who back in October was like, I wish you would fucking kill yourself and all this kind of stuff. But I just talked to the dude and realized he was going through some stuff too. Some people are just trolls. Some people just get off on being trolls. But some people are hurting. Some people are hurting, man. And some people need somebody to just listen to them. And I was just like, yo, I'll listen,
Yeah, well, no, it's I totally understand and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about this and everything at my buddy that owns a gaming store. He owns two of them and everything and stuff.
Yeah.
And I told him about it, and they're like, "Yeah, I know who you're talking about." And they're like, "He's like, I stopped watching it like 2 months ago, so probably around around like November or stuff." And he's like, "He left or like whatever." And I told him, and he's like, "Dude," he was like,
"No, I mean,
dude.
it's fine." And I said in my Swamp Zombies video, like, I'm so appreciative that I got to be part of that, because without that, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met a lot of people, So it's like we enter certain places and we do certain things for certain periods of time, which brings new people into our lives. And then we go off and we do our own thing. And either those people can follow me or they don't follow me. But a lot of people have said really nice things too. And a lot of times I don't feel like I deserve that, but or good things in my life just because how I was raised and all. But now my whole thing is like, anybody who still is in my corner, they know that I made mistakes, that I was not always a good person, that I was hurting, that I was suffering. And unfortunately, a lot of people either didn't realize I was suffering or didn't care because they needed to keep the wheels turning. And that's a messed up thing as well. But what it comes down to is just like, I'm here now. I weathered the storm to this point. I'm still working on it. And I'm trying to put out the content for the people who still believe in me. Because my favorite thing is to put a video up and then have comments and answering people's comments and just talking shit, or on Instagram where I was talking to you, or on Twitter. The whole reason I ever wanted to do this is just because I love talking about movies and life experiences with people. I love where a conversation could be about the Terminator and it winds up becoming about a birthday party at a skating rink or something like that. Everybody's lives have these common threads, and my favorite thing is talking to people about how they came upon their love for film or comic books or video games, because I genuinely love to learn about other people, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
you know what the best thing about you is versus like other
Mhm.
people and stuff is just like, you know, I could say, you know what I mean? I've only, you know, known you
Yeah.
personally and stuff, not like with watching videos and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
I've only known you for so long and everything, but now I could say, oh yeah, I mean, that's my friend that's
Yeah,
on there. You know what I mean?
you called me the other night. We had like a 2 hour long conversation, man. It felt
Yeah.
like talking to a buddy. You know, there was no preconceptions, there was no, you know, pitching me to come on your show or anything like that. Because again, I don't, I'm nobody. I'm a dude who was on a YouTube show that was marginally popular. I was on another show before that. I was always just the other guy. So it's just like there's a million and one loudmouths on YouTube. I've never thought I was anything special compared to anybody. I'm not the host guy. I'm not the old friend girl who I brought on there. They have their own, they have their own star appeal and their own personalities. I like to just be a guy. You
Yeah,
know,
you just be like
I
you.
tell embarrassing stories about myself, whatever, because who cares? Because it's like that people can connect with somebody who's just trying to be real, and that's all I got. That's the only currency I have in the world is who I am, you know?
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I think I liked about the show was
Yeah.
because of you. I don't mean I don't want to talk about it. We're not, you know what I mean? I
Mhm.
know we said before, but
Yeah, yeah,
like
no, I don't, yeah.
it's just because I liked you on the show, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
made those weird jokes and stuff and everything, and then you'll be like, you know, somebody, you know, uh, Dark Knight, you know, would be like
Mhm.
quiet as shit and go, okay, now moving on.
Yeah,
But like,
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
like I'd be like sitting there like that was funny as hell. What are you talking about? Like
And that was kind of one of the cool things I did recently is my friends at
I'm
Farpoint Toys.
I'm not
Yo,
talking
go.
shit though. I'm
Oh, no,
sorry, I
no,
don't mean to
no. That's
interrupt
what I'm
you.
saying is one of my favorite things recently was going down and doing the guys who have the toy store where I was yesterday and all that. Um, we had planned like 2 months ago to record Conan and Last Action Hero, and we only could shoot one because we talked for 4 hours about Conan. We talked 2 hours longer than the movie, so that has to get cut down. But so we couldn't shoot the second one, but we had a whole conversation because the other show did a review of Last Action Hero, and they're like, "Do you want to not do it?" And I was like, "No, ours is completely different. I'm not trying to compete with anybody." And what I liked about talking to those guys was it wasn't two or three people each having their own conversation and each waiting for their turn to talk, to throw a joke out or something like that or be a character. It was just three people who've known each other for a long time having a conversation about a movie that went into politics and life and religion and all these different things. And you know, Last Action Hero gets me, you know, people say whatever they want about that movie, but that movie gets me emotional because A, it's about the power of film, and B, that little boy in that movie looked up to this larger than life hero because his life was a mess and was scary, and he had a hero. Oh, I'm gonna get emotional now.
Oh, yeah, you're good. What
No,
are you
it's all
talking
right.
about?
Sorry about that. He had a hero in his life that could protect him there. And I had that when I was a kid when certain things happened to me. Mine was the Frankenstein monster. I used to imagine when I was a really little kid that the Frankenstein monster could protect me when things didn't make sense. So watching that movie yesterday, we had that whole conversation about abuse and neglect and escaping into fantasy and why people go to comic books and video games and movies when the world doesn't make sense, because those things make sense, you know. And that I said, look, no one else is going to have that conversation in their review, so I don't care. I'm not competing with these other people. I'm just going to talk about something that I care about and try to approach it from a deeper angle than I was before. Yeah, we still throw in fart jokes and you know, and those kind of stories, whatever. But it's not about waiting for my turn to talk. It's not about not listening to the other people to be a character, to one up the joke. It's literally just talking about things that we're passionate about, you know? And I could have talked about Conan for another 2 fucking hours if I could, because I love that movie with all my heart. You know, I love that movie more than family members.
I could say that for certain things and stuff. There's definitely Jesus, like I can say that and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention anything because they're gonna be watching this.
Of course.
Fucking motherfucker, you know. So
therapy's making me soft. Now I get emotional about everything, and I'm becoming like a Kevin Smith
with that.
I know, but like we made fun of, we did a review of The Last Blockbuster, and we joked about how Kevin Smith cries about everything. His is pot induced. Mine is 40 years of a wall around my emotions, and now that it's open, I'm like, wow, that movie makes me really sad.
Oh, do you ever like? I used to be. I mean, I still am. Like we said, we really went off. How we said before, we're like, we bring up the topics, but like you don't have to keep track because we're gonna go to 50 things. But like I said before and stuff, I try to say is like I said before, I said I'd be kind of this, you know, angry, mean, you know, person. I'm not like mean and stuff. I am to an extent and everything, but like I'm kind of in a good way. You know what I mean? Like some lady yelling at a hairdresser for doing her husband's, like I'm sitting there waiting to get a haircut, and some lady's, you know, sitting there, you know, with the hairdresser, and she's a woman and stuff, and she's getting up, and I think, you're hitting on my husband, and I'd be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Leave that woman alone. She's cutting your husband's hair. She's cut his ear and stuff. Please, she's doing a great job. You should be happy. You know what I mean?
Everybody's just needs to be in everybody else's business anymore. And it's just like, I tell people all the time, just mind your own yard.
Oh,
Take care of you and yours. And then if you see something that's righteously indignant towards, you know, other people, step up. I've never been I've gotten my ass kicked so many times. I'm 5'5", you know, 136 pounds. So yeah, I'm little.
I thought you were my height.
No, dude, I'm short. Like that's why
fucking
like,
6 foot tall.
No, standing next to the redhead that I used to be on the show with, like she's like way taller than me. So yeah.
You were saying though, you got your ass kicked.
I'm bite sized. Yeah, because I used to be the dude who would just like stand up for people, and I would just take a fucking whooping, man. But I was like, whatever. It builds character, and it also shows that you're not going to back down to people, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like, you know, like a self checkout at Walmart and stuff and everything, and some mean guy and everything is being some druggie and stuff is being mean to an old man, sitting there waiting for him to be done and stuff and being mean. And I'm like, you fucking tell him you're sorry. Oh no! Oh well, I'll whoop your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm half your size. I mean, I'm not. Well, I'm bigger than you. You're skinny as fuck.
Being in retail and running movie theaters for as long as I did, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I don't suffer fools very well. So my new staff, they've only known me since October. They're like, whoa, because I don't let anybody treat my staff, my building, myself like we're less than them. Yeah. You know, and it's just like, guess what? We have the right to refuse service. Bye, you know.
Fuck you.
Yeah, go watch Spider-Man elsewhere. Like, you know, then maybe they'll let you talk to you that way at Regal, you know.
They think customers think for some reason it's always the customer's everybody's right and everything. Here's the problem with people. One, COVID is really fucked up people because everybody's hasn't been out and stuff. And I mean, one thing that made me mad, I was out all the time, the time, like not drinking. I don't go out and do things like that. So, but I mean, like, I bought my house in 2020.
Yeah.
So I bought it before all the market went up and everything. It's funny because my house was built in 1920 and I bought it at the year anniversary. Awesome. Yeah. And but I bought it. So I had to go to Home Depot. I had to go to places and stuff during this and everything, you know, and then half the time there was no mask or anything. And I get mad till this day and everything. Literally in 2022, I get COVID. It's like the whole time I've been like, oh, push. No, nothing. I'm good one time. and because my wife and everything, he works with people and stuff and everything, and it's like, oh, you fucking asshole, you got me sick. God damn it. I was like, well, here's the best thing though. I was worried because like the lady looked at me at like Med Express and was like, type 1 diabetes, you have a not a great immune system. You qualified for that little like thing they put in
shot,
to make they make you feel better and stuff. And it's like, go get it. And I kept trying to get it. And then after a while, I was like, no, because I got it on Wednesday and I was fine by Friday. She was horrible the whole week.
It's funny. I got both of the original shots, and I didn't feel anything. Yeah, the only time I felt something is we shot the Fear and Loathing episode the day that we got our shots, and because a large portion of that audience was very they didn't believe in masks, they didn't believe in the vaccines, so we had to play both sides. So we pretended to be drunk in that episode, but really we were just suffering badly from the shot. It hurt, sick and everything. It took us out. I got the booster shot back in October. It knocked me out for 3 days.
I gotta say this, I sound horrible. I haven't gotten the shot.
Really?
I haven't gotten the shot.
Well, because of immune compromise, because of the cancer, I wanted to make sure I got taken care of as quickly as possible. You know,
I was trying to, but the problem is like I'm allergic to certain things, like that was in the shot and everything. And my doctor told me, they're like, I hate to say this because somebody told me that I'm wrong and everything, but I've by 5 doctors and everything, 5 experts of what I have and everything has told me, you most likely got your diabetes because you took the H1N1 shot when you were a little kid. And I was like, why is that? And they're like, because it affected your pancreas and everything. So it shut it down. Your body didn't react correctly and everything. So it makes chemicals in your body and everything. People were like, certain medical people would be like, no, it's not how that works and everything. I'm like, well, listen, if 5, doctors, it's like, if they tell me something.
People were trying to tell me that the Bell's palsy was caused by it, when my doctor was like, dude, no, it was stress. Like that's how your body reacted that way to it. But all these people online were like, yeah, it's because he got the shot. And I'm like, oh, all right, there's my cat.
That's fine.
She just ran by the thing. Thanks, Elvira. She likes being on camera now. She's in my thing, so I'm trying not to have to pay her anything to be on camera, you know.
I was supposed to wear a different shirt and stuff that I'm wearing right now, and I was like, copyright. It was a Bakey's logo right there, and I'm like, it's like, they used to send me free stuff all the time, but like I can, like, my hat's backwards and everything because this is free product from a TV show and everything that they sent me, like a bunch of hats and everything. But then I'm also like, they may like me and everything and send me some free stuff, but then they also be like, listen, if you make money off this video,
we want some. I'm wearing my Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker shirt that my buddy Fredel and Ray directed that movie. So last year we had him at the drive-in. I brought him out for the weekend, and he's like, here's some free t-shirts. And I was like, sweet. I love to dress like I'm a little boy. So like,
I still have stupid stuff and everything. Like, I am a child. I have the child right behind me. I have controller. That's because of my PC and I haven't opened it. Like, I have figures that I went and bought. It went to a half an hour to go get them for that new Star Wars TV show.
Oh yeah.
People were like, why would you spend $30 on that? It's like,
because I wanted to.
Yeah, I got shirts. Like my friend's from Canada. Shout out to Marcus. I gotta say that he'll probably watch it and everything. But he's told me, he's like, because I had at Walmart they had a Halloween original, like the poster and everything, like a shirt. It's like super cheap, like $9. And he's like, we don't get that up here in Canada. And I'm like,
got him, send him one.
COVID.
Oh, that's right.
That's when they were out and stuff. And I'm like, do you want one? And he's like, yeah, it was one of those. I think, what was it? The mail and the borders and stuff were closed. And he was like, it's going to be stupidly expensive trying to get it and blah, blah, blah. He's like, just wait. And then now they don't sell it anymore.
People, that sucks. Yeah. People still send me like stuff to sign. You
guys send me something.
I just like, just send it to my house. I don't care if you're gonna come kill me, do it. Like, what are you gonna do?
The fuck are they? What are they gonna? What is somebody really gonna do? I've only heard certain like the horror stories and everything.
I'm just like, whatever. Just send it to my house, and I'll sign it and send it back, and I'll pay for the shipping. Because anybody who wants my fucking signature, I at least owe you the shipping back. You know.
Shipping. Making people pay.
because I get a lot of copies of like Swamp Zombies and stuff like that to sign, and I'd send it back to people. I have a bunch of like little leftovers from the movie, from the premiere, so I always just throw a little something in the bag with it, just to like say thank you for watching and still talking to me, basically, you know.
I can't find that anywhere right now, and I'm like, what the?
Anything.
Yeah, that was like, it's on Tubi.
I know. Yeah,
I
I
literally
know.
I watched it again, and I was like I sat there and actually
Mhm.
watched it and everything, and it's just like it's not one of those movies that you hate at all. It
No,
isn't.
it's got heart. It has a lot of mistakes. It's got a lot of things in it. Again, you know, go watch my Swamp Zombies 2 video and explain. I literally just wanted to spend time with somebody, so I made an entire movie so I had an excuse to spend time with somebody. You know,
What was your
and
budget? I gotta ask.
it was less than $5,000. Yeah.
I've seen worse fucking shit on YouTube that has spent
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of dollars on.
Yep. So, you know, and it's a feature, and it got distribution and all that. So I'm at least proud of that. And again, like I said in my video, I learned a lot for the next one. And I've already got, you know, I've told you about projects that I have in the pipe right now, and a new web show, and the comic book and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's just, I learned a lot of how to keep people together for something more long form, how to do a budget properly, how to do a schedule properly. That stuff also helped me when I ran the 3 shows that I produced at the other job. You
Yeah.
know, all those little, you fill up your utility belt. I bet you after I do the next one, I'm going to be even better. And then until I get to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, we could do something for $5,000 and make it look like 25, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it sucks because it's like I know you're talking about. I could say your next movie, right, and everything.
Yeah.
The one you're going to be working on, the Satan's Slumber Party.
Satan Slumber Party.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
we're finishing Midnight Show first. I've been making that for over a decade now.
Jesus.
Anytime I had extra money, I just put it into something, because it was like running a movie theater. You don't have the money all the time. So anytime I had the money and could line people up, I would shoot over a weekend. I would pay people, wait a little bit, another couple months, shoot again. So it's all made up of all these fake grindhouse trailers and animation. And Lemmy from Motorhead, the last thing he ever filmed was for me. I've got like Lloyd Kaufman from Trauma's in it. Ron Jeremy was in it, but I had to cut him out because he's probably going to die in jail. You know, there's just like Isaac the bartender from The Love Boat, and Gilbert Godfrey, and people like that are all in it. So I made it over a period of 10 years. We finished it over a year ago. And then obviously, with me no longer working with the people I was working with anymore, they had requested that certain things get removed. So I have to go back and rework elements, but everything we shot with the other camera of the lead actress in the zombie makeup, I can keep. So I took all the footage that we can use, and I wrote a new script around that footage, so we don't waste the 4 or 5 hours of makeup that she was in for that, because it was such good footage. So it basically just has a new narrative. I'm going to start getting back into finishing that in March and have it together by April, hopefully. So I have that finished. Then we move directly into Satan's Slumber Party, which I wrote in 2016, and then it got rewritten like 13 times because everybody had a different idea of what they wanted to be. We finally landed on a version that everybody was happy with, and it's like a slumber party 80s movie mixed with Evil Dead, you know, and it's very self-aware and very sleazy and fun and gory and lots of slime and boobs and all that kind of stuff, you know.
I want to fucking be in that movie. I like when I saw that, and I was like, this when you told me about it, and I liked the plot and everything, and I'm like, damn, how do I get to be in 5 minutes of it?
You come to Coaldale, PA, and you can do a cameo.
I'll do it. I don't give a shit. Drive a couple hours away.
I've got 2 and again, another like little theater that no longer is open, but it's still in really good shape. And the guy I'm working with on this, he's friends with the owner of it, and they're like, yeah, you can rent it, and it's, you know, not a lot of money, and the building looks like the 1980s inside. And I created this real, like, I'm trying to think a bit more outside of the box on camera moves and like things I want to try. Oh,
there goes copyrights.
Oh no,
Dean Winchester's gonna get me.
Oh no. But the theater has this great layout, so I wanted to try this really complex camera move where you zoom in on the lead actress's mouth screaming, and once if the screen fills with her mouth, we punch back from the mouth to realize that now she's on screen and the roles have reversed in the theater, and we come out of the theater, out of the lobby, and then boom, through the front door. And when we get to the front door through the drone, now the whole theater's in hell. So I wanted to try this really like Evil Dead style, quick boom, 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 and then we zip out the back, and it's all this very fluid kinetic motion. And so we've been testing a lot of like really cool stuff, because I was like, screw it, anybody could just make it. Like, we can make another Swamp Zombies where it's very static shots and everything's cut quick, but I want to try to really get weird with some of this stuff, because if you're watching a movie on Tubi or something like that, you know what to expect. But if somebody throws a shot like that at you, you're going to be like, whoa, where did this come from? You know? So I'm dreaming up a lot of these cool things. I'm working on a camera rig that goes into a spiral. So as the camera comes down the thing, it's spiraling. So it disorients you moving into the screen. It's like a bunch of cool stuff I'm trying to do. So it feels like the camera is another character, you know?
Jesus, you sound like you should be working for a big company and go fuck
No,
yourself with all these other people.
I mean, I work for a company, but it's a movie theater company, you know?
Well, I'll definitely tell you what, I will whenever the hell, just let me know when you're shooting. I'll come up there for whatever the heck you're doing.
I will tell you, and I've got 2 known 80s horror movie people who are very interested right now. One is a former Scream Queen. If the schedules work out, she's going to come play like the landlord of the building, and that's super exciting. And then the other person would, yeah, I can't say. So
no, I meant by just a quick cameo.
Well, yeah, you know. But like it, you know, stuff like that is just cool. That, you know, I actually have a little bit of a budget to play with, because I proved myself by, when I lost my job, I quickly found another one, and then I just sold my movie poster collection, which was 22 years of collecting, all of my films that I had left, and my what I had left of my comic book collection, because I was like,
dude, that sucks.
Oh, but it's like, what's the line in Fight Club? The things you own eventually own you. You know, I had a storage unit filled with stuff, and I said, like, the way that the internet is, because I still get it, people still call me things that I know I'm not. I realized that no company is going to work with me. So if you want to make something, you're going to have to do it yourself. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is like trying to make it happen myself. I paid for the first issue of the comic book. We're going to do a Kickstarter for the other one, but I think that's the best. Like, Florida Man Saves Christmas is the best thing I've ever written in my entire life. It's almost too good for me to have written it. Like, I feel like I was possessed for the time in which I wrote it, because I wrote this 267-page white trash Lovecraft script, which is the weirdest, funniest, dirtiest thing I've ever written in my entire life. And for a really long time, everybody said, nobody knows what the Florida Man is. Nobody cares about this. When I went out to LA, and then at my last job, they were like, it's too dirty. People don't want that kind of like raunchy comedy. And then I gave it to another person. They're like, oh no, we're doing this. We have to do this. Like, you know,
Well, that's the one thing you know what I mean? I saw it, and you know, you sent me things of it.
Yeah,
and
I sent you artwork from it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like saw this and stuff, and I'm like, this like could be a fucking good ass movie. I would fucking like. I
wrote it as a movie. I wrote it as a movie originally, and I couldn't get any traction for it. It was going to be too expensive. We had shot a teaser at the other job, and unfortunately, I don't own any of that footage, so I can't use any of that footage. So that's gone.
Anybody important was playing, you know, him and stuff?
Just my buddy Justin, the guy who owns the toy store that I went and shot at.
Okay. I know you said.
I mean, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. He was in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. He was on Comic Book Men. They did a whole episode of Toy Store Near You, I believe is the name of the show, that's about him and his wife. He's a good dude, but he inspired that script because he'd always come out and worked for me for free or gas money. Just good dude, him and his wife. And I wanted to give him a gift. The only way I knew how was he inspired this idea, because this guy's got crazy stories about, you know, his rough upbringing, kind of the dude that he was, and he was in a heavy metal band that traveled all over the world. So he's kind of one of my muses. It was him, Mr. Lobo, who's a horror host, and then the redheaded girl who's no longer, you know, we don't associate anymore, but everything was inspired by those people. Everything I ever wrote was to impress those three people. So I wrote this thing for Justin, and he's like, dude, you can't, you have to, we have to figure out a way for you to make this. And he wouldn't allow me to not do it. So I just kept figuring out ways to do it. And I was like, well, maybe I'll do a Kickstarter, maybe I'll do this. And finally I just said, screw it, I'll make it a comic book. And then I can put in all the crazy stuff that you could never film because it would be too expensive. So I went back to the original draft and made it weirder and funnier. And now there's like a big like butthole demon and stuff like that. Like all this crazy stuff. The Florida skunk ape that's like their Bigfoot is Florida man's friend, but he's a right-wing gun nut who lives in a trailer in the middle of nowhere. But inside of his trailer is like this huge manor where he has all these books about the occult, and it's like the Dalek and or the phone booth thing, and I don't know, Mr. Doctor Who. I was gonna say Mr. Who, Doctor Who, but it's like bigger on the inside. So I just like came up with as much weird stuff, and I tried to frame it as he fancies himself the last American folk hero. So I wrote this long soliloquy about why America needed folk heroes when we first formed, because we didn't have our own identity yet. So we created these things just like the Greeks and the Romans created their heroes and their gods based on the things that they didn't have their identity. So Florida man fancies himself this larger than life figure, but really he's an idiot and makes everything worse that he touches. So, and then I just, from that point on, I followed the story of Beowulf, and it follows basically the beats of the first epic poem, Beowulf, in telling this white trash trailer park Lovecraft version of this story. So it's just weird. I don't do drugs or anything like that. I was just so inspired by like trying to try something that was so different that I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And I came up with like, you know, some jokes came out because they're a little too much. Like a 15-year-old owns a vape shop that's called Statutory Vape. I took that out.
What the fuck?
But
sells crack out the back alley.
Yeah, it takes place in Christmas, Florida, which is a real place. So when he's saving Christmas, he's actually saving the town. But inside the town is a strip club called North Pole Dancers. And there's 8 strippers who work there who all named after the reindeer. I got weird with it, man. I got really weird and just tested myself and just wrote something fucking huge and crazy. And even people who say like, you're not a good writer, they read it and they're like, this is really good. And it was just, you know.
Well, they say you're not a good writer, but you've done things. I mean, here's a one thing. So yeah. If I look up on, so one, like how you said before, I'm a nobody. Listen, you tell me you're like, you were somebody before me, but I don't have a Wikipedia, okay? I don't have somebody that says, hey, I'm 40. You say it literally tells you your age and everything, dude. Like it says it. But what I was gonna say was, if you look it up on there, it says you are the main creator of Underbelly. It says that,
and I wasn't the main creator. Justin and I were very much we pulled the engine on that one, and then we brought people together. Justin and I, working together for so long, had wanted to do. I had written Midnight Show back in 2007 as a different type of movie, as like a haunted movie theater movie. And then that didn't come to be because it turned out that the producer I was working with actually didn't have any money and was just dragging us around. So that was around the early days of the YouTube stuff. So Justin was like, let's do this. So then we started putting other people together, and Sean had the camera and the editing stuff, and Frank knew a lot about gaming, and what was his name? Kevin knew a lot about anime stuff. So we just put together that everyone had an expertise, you know, and we did that for a while. And that show was really good back in the day. Like I think about it, I was like, wow, we shot the first episode in 2009.
Where'd you that's how that stuff. I gotta
South Jersey.
South Jersey.
We were like not far from Trenton, New Jersey, where we shot it.
Were you in a studio? You're in the studio?
Yeah.
Because I was watching, that's what my wife told me. She says, stop doing the fucking weirdo shit. You're texting him and you're watching shit on fucking YouTube. I was
doing research.
Well, I mean, I've already watched it, but like that's the thing. No, it's just this sounds horrible to say and everything, and I
Mhm.
sound like a freaking psychopath and everything. But like at work, I just like I'll just like random, and it'll go down the line of all the
Yeah.
episodes. I'm pretty sure I listened to it yesterday, but it's like it's
Mhm.
nice to hear fucking people talk and stuff instead of the rock radio.
Yeah.
That's like,
It's
that's
crazy too because we almost brought it back twice. We
well, what
tried.
was the reason why it left? I gotta ask. I was going to ask that.
So uh we signed with a couple other companies, and they took some bad deals, and Justin was losing creative control with Sean, and then the show became more like sterilized when YouTube started doing like the ad stuff where they wanted things to be
Yeah.
less adult. And then Justin went on to start Silvermania with his then roommate, and a rift was formed when we were hired by Andrew WK to create his It's Time to Party music video. I was a producer and location manager on that, and it all fell apart from there, and everybody started to hate each other. I was kind of in the middle because Justin and I have been friends for 21 years now. So you would see me pop up on Silvermania every so often, or they would shoot something at my job because I ran a hotel at the time and we had this really cool conference room. So they shot an episode there. Um, Back in 2016, we tried to bring it back. So we shot a reboot episode. And that was the first time that no, it was the second time Crystal was ever in an episode. Then she and I had shot a couple porn reviews, but then the director, Sean, we did like porn parodies. Like we reviewed like the Pokemon one and the Ninja Turtle one, which was kind of funny. But yeah, so the director guy didn't think it was appropriate. He thought it was bad for his brand. So that got nixed. And then a couple years later, the company I used to work for tried to buy it, and they wouldn't sell, and that's why they started rental reviews instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was supposed to be part of it, but obviously someone else got my part. So I didn't, but I used to write their notes and stuff like that. So when they would do certain episodes,
are you allowed to say who got your part when they did the rental reviews?
No, I'm not gonna get into that.
Oh, you're not gonna get into that and stuff.
No.
Well, I just asked the owner. I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell me later.
I'll tell you. Yeah, exactly.
tell me later. You know,
yeah.
But I mean, rental reviews. See, I know. I don't want to talk about this stuff, but the one thing I gotta say is that I know what works, but I just don't fucking do it. You know what doesn't work and everything? Starting a brand new YouTube channel from something that you already had and you could have kept doing and everything on the already existing millions of subscribers and reviews and everything, because I mean, I'm not talking shit. I still like the show. I mean, I'm still gonna listen to it and everything. I'm not gonna hate. We're not hating on anybody. You know what I mean? If they watch this and they say, "Hey, well, he's fucking talking shit," no, we're not talking shit. I'm just saying is that, in my opinion, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have went here.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just SEO stuff and the inner workings of YouTube. I learned a lot in the time I was working there, and certain people didn't want to part with certain things, and they didn't want to devalue other stuff, and the person I used to work with sold their channel to the company, so that belongs to that company now. But again, I went and started my own thing. But that was only because I didn't have any other outlet and I still wanted to talk about stuff. I had a bunch of old trailers that I shot and I wasn't using the channel. So I just one day came home and was like, screw it. I'm going to talk about whatever I talked. Like, I think it's The Matrix or Spider-Man was the first one I did. My Matrix review got 20.
I think it was.
Yeah, my Matrix review got 22,000 views. Because of the title I put on it, but also because it got shared in a specific hate group of people, and they hate watched it, but a hate watch is still a watch.
I've read the comics. I've read the comments, and they're pretty okay for people and stuff. They're like, oh yeah,
I deleted a lot of stuff that was more like attacking and saying things about other people that I don't think is appropriate. Like, there are people who don't talk to me anymore, but I still wouldn't drag them because that's not the person I am. I know that they've done that to me, but I'm trying to just focus,
Yeah, that's why I was saying is like I'm not hating on
Yeah.
on their on the channel or anything at all and stuff.
Mhm.
It's just like that's why I say that is like I wouldn't, in my opinion, I wouldn't have done that. But that doesn't matter though, because I was like when I started watching the rental reviews and I liked them
Mhm.
and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is good and everything and stuff. And then they said they were canceling it and I was like I heard him say he was
Mhm.
canceling it and stuff and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
stuck in a pandemic. I got nothing else to do, you asshole. Like, you
But
better that shit.
that's why we got the other show going. Like that was
That's
why I said, why don't we do this? We already have this and this. And that's I've kind of begged, borrowed, and pleaded my way into that other one. Because I was already in the office every day, so we could do a couple. And then I started to bring, the movie dumpster guys. Like I'm not personally friends with those guys anymore, but I brought them in and I brought the girl in and that kind of stuff. And it was just like, we can do something else here. We can make things cool. And it became, that became that dude's job. Like he no longer, like that was his job now, to watch movies and edit movies. I still had all the other jobs I had to do. So it became, oh, woohoo, boo is me. I had to watch movies and then talk about them. But it does take a lot to like do all of your other work, watch a movie, stay late, do that thing, and then work on the schedules and all that kind of stuff. So like it did get to be a little bit draining at the time because I also didn't get paid for that too. I was
oh
just doing
yeah.
it, you
Yeah,
know.
that's yeah. The what was I gonna ask? Was it the Friday the 13th episode was like the first one or whatever?
No,
Or
the first one I did was Wishmaster.
Wishmaster. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just going back and everything, and I was like, why
Mhm.
can't I find anything? And I'm
Friday
like,
was probably fair. Friday was probably like 2 summers ago.
okay.
Because we did. There's been two Friday the 13th since I was on the show.
Yeah,
And the
because they
last one, like the second one was, so we did 1, 2, 3. We did 4, 5, 6. I can't watch the 4, 5, 6 episode because like that episode, the night that we shot that was a particularly bad night of some things that happened in my life, and like to watch that episode like literally makes me uncomfortable to watch because at the end I kind of lose it on things. Like I start freaking out about something, and I was just like, it kind of sucks that my then friends didn't see how bad a shape I was in then, and I was like not able to hold it together.
yeah, yeah, that's why I was like, when you talk to me and stuff and everything,
Mhm.
it's like, dude, you got a problem? Give me a call.
Yeah,
Shit, we'll talk
yeah.
about some things, and then
No, and
that's what I can say.
I'm doing much better. Like,
Yeah,
I got it. I was able to get into therapy in October and psychiatrist and start taking
yeah,
meds. All the things that I was too scared to do for a long time because you want to be your own man. You want to be tough. You want to do it yourself and prove to people that you could do it yourself. And you get to a certain point where, because, my ex best friend, she used to tell me, like, you need help, you need this and that. And I was like, no, I'll figure it out. All the things that she told me were all the things that I'm doing now. Had I just let my ego shut up for a minute and listen, she and I would still be together. I'd probably still be on that show. I probably wouldn't have had a break, but I didn't. And this is where we are now. And all we can do is, how do we take the pieces that we have left and put them back together into something,
yeah. I gotta say this though, you do look
Mhm.
good. You do
Thank
look
you.
good and stuff and everything because I I notice things about people,
Mhm.
okay, and
Yeah.
it's you know what I mean. It's I notice when people aren't okay,
Mhm.
and I could tell when I was like, I don't fucking know this dude, but it's like
Yeah.
I know you now, but it's like before I was like,
Yeah.
it's
I
like
wasn't, I gained 30
that's
pounds
that's what I was
working.
gonna say. When you start, I mean,
Yeah.
I've gained a lot of weight since and
Mhm.
everything, but I also have a wife, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's like
Mhm.
eat more, you know what I mean, and then
Yeah.
doing whatever and stuff and everything, and you eat homemade foods more
Yeah.
often than you do when I was like super skinny and stuff. When I was
Mhm.
home, and you would just eat some stupid shit that was quick.
Yeah.
And people don't
Exactly.
understand. People don't understand it. It's bad for you to eat those quick meals and stuff,
Exactly.
but it's not as bad
Sometimes,
as it's just it's not as it's not as bad as eating a homemade meal sometimes because those homemade meals would be a lot of calories and stuff,
yeah.
and
Yep.
you know what I mean. That one little fucking thing of you could pop in
Yeah.
the oven and stuff was not many as calories, but they're bad for
I
you.
my biggest thing was I gained a lot of weight working there, because I was unhappy, I was just looking for things to make me feel better, and I was drinking. Like I don't like I don't get drunk guy. I've
Yeah, I
never
know
been
you're
that way.
fine.
I didn't drink for the first time till I was 27. you know,
Wow,
which is
you live a
crazy.
different life than me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because I work so much, but like I could tell that I was drinking when we would go out just to kind of dull some of the shit that was going on in my head. And I had gotten kind of bloated from that, and just like my face, like now I'm tired today because the last 2 days like have been a go 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 run thing. So, but I look at myself even yesterday when we were filming, watching the footage, I was like, okay, I look like I used to look. I don't have the double chin anymore. I don't have a gut anymore. Like I lost the 30 pounds. Part of it was in October. I was in such depression that I didn't eat for days. I didn't sleep for days because I was just, people were sending me things from Reddit or sending me things on Twitter and just bombarding me with stuff. And I just didn't want to be here anymore, you know? And that was kind of what my life was at that point. And then once I got it back together, got an exercise bike, started watching what I was eating, that kind of stuff, like trying to make healthier lifestyle choices so I don't wind up back in that spot. And now I'm in a place where when people call me the names that they're going to call me, I'm just like, okay, whatever, you'll see. Because, you know, the thing I keep telling people is people can think whatever they want about me. I made a lot of mistakes. I did things that I shouldn't have done because I was tired and scared, and I couldn't say no to people on things. And I said that I had checked things that I didn't check because I was just trying to stay ahead of everything, and I let things run past me that I shouldn't have. And you know, and when I got hired to do some writing for some people who were like, hey, everybody deserves a second chance, their lawyers went through everything, and their lawyers made sure that I wasn't a liability. And once they said, look, we know what happened, we know where the mistakes were made, but we also know that if you pull that thread, a lot of other people are involved in things. And I'm not lessening what I did, but like there was a lot of people made mistakes, and yeah, I made big fucking mistakes. But like, you know, I've done everything in my power to prove that that is not me, that I was not in a good place mentally. You know, I told you what happened. Obviously, I keep it, you know, I keep it to myself, personal things, you know, but we make mistakes, and as our lives kind of crumble, we're just grabbing for anything. And when you can't grab, you just feel hopeless. And once I kind of got my feet back on the ground and said, okay, who is still here? Who is still in my corner? And it's a lot less people than it used to be. And there are times where just out of habit, I'll go to grab my phone to talk to somebody. I go, oh, that person blocked me. That person is no longer part of my life. You know, and that's fine. That's where we are in our lives now. And then I go, okay, well, these people are still here, and I can talk to them, or I can work on myself. I can work out. I can read. I can write a little bit. I can go take a walk. There's other things that I can do to not fall into the traps that I used to fall into, to break out of my bubble that I was too afraid to get out of for a really long time. And even doing my little videos sitting in my kitchen makes me happy. Talking to you makes me happy. You and I were texting about the fucking Monroeville Mall. Shit like that makes me happy, you know?
Yeah.
You know, even my theater, like, yeah, less people are around. I'll run movies after closing, but like a couple friends will show up who I haven't talked to in a long time, and we'll have a good time. And that's all that matters to me now, is just reconnecting with people, figuring out who the fuck I am, and just trying not to be a shitty person again and never become that person who people think I am, you know?
See, that's the thing. It's like you got to figure out who isn't the bullshit friends and stuff. You know what I mean? We got to figure out who's not sucking off of you. You know what I mean? That's why when that's why when I, you know, tell you stuff is like, listen, you want to fucking do stuff and everything, fucking do it. Because guess what? Remember, is that if it's like, oh, if I'm going to be the one, you know, doing the video and editing and stuff, but then sending it to you so you can have something on Wednesday or Friday or Saturday or whenever the heck you want to do videos and stuff. It's just like, you know, it's you could do it. I don't give a shit. I make my money what I do.
I told you. That's what I told you. It was just like when you were like, oh, if you ever want to do this. And I think you were waiting for me to be like, I don't know. But I'm like, dude, I just like talking to people and talking about movies. Yeah. I'm not out here. I'm not chasing clout. You're not out here chasing clout. No. You had your own career before me. Like, it's just like, I just want to fucking talk to people and have a good time now. And people who like get it and want to have a good time as well, instead of just doing things for clicks and views and all that kind of shit. Because what's it worth? In the end, what's it fucking worth? It's not worth anything. Being the you know, it's like being popular on social media is like being the tallest dwarf. Like, what does it mean? You
Yeah,
know?
I went viral on TikTok
Yeah,
where my wife's friends in college were like, "Why the fuck are you on my For You page? I
yeah,
don't follow you." And they're like, you made a truck joke. Why am I knowing this? Why is
yeah.
there thousands of
My
comments? Why is it?
that dumbass Goldberg thing I made where I put him in the middle of the Friday the 13th VHSs.
Yeah, that fucking
That
yeah.
blew up, and I was just literally that night that I took that picture, we were waiting for somebody to figure out the new camera. So Mike Matei and I were hanging out. He's used to be on Cinemassacre. He and I were hanging out while I'm waiting for this dude to figure out the camera. I just moved that and took a picture, like, haha, for me. And it wound up exploding on Twitter. And I didn't expect that at all. It was just
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. And now it's just like, wow, like it really did well. And I was like, wow, that's fucking cool. Like sometimes the algorithmic gods shine on you, you know?
Yeah. See, it's just like, and then like I said before and everything is that I'm not here to make money. I'm here to talk to you. I want to see in Pittsburgh to see if this man right here from Freddy versus Jason will talk to me.
Yeah.
I know that man won't because he
Mhm.
I'm sorry to say this, but he's such a nice guy and everything.
Mhm.
But he charges 140 just for a fucking autograph, and
Really?
he charges the guy who he only played Jason once and everything, but he
Yeah.
played Jason in a big thing. $40, and he's giving out free selfies with your phone.
He also got beaten up by Jason in Jason Takes Manhattan. He's
yes,
the cook who gets
that's what I
thrown.
forgot about.
Yep.
I was like, he's like doing something else. See, that's that, but then this is also the movie that I'm like, I like Kane Hodder, and that's the movie he was like, go fuck yourself with.
Yeah.
Everything.
No,
But
Kane Hodder's awesome. I had a chance to meet him on a couple different occasions. We never worked together or anything like that, but we had a couple like not like off the show floor conversations. And he's like an inspiration, man. He's a dude who's like in it and like wants to be, you know, like if you ever watched the documentary about him, like he's an actor too. Like he can bring a lot more than just being Jason, you know. He was in Daredevil. He's the Kingpin kills him in Daredevil, you know. He's in Monster. He's the guy who catches Charlize Theron at the end of Monster, you know, where she plays Eileen Wuornos.
See, it's just, but like what I was saying is that this is, I'm sorry, I sound like a horrible person because I'm not saying, but I just wanted to quick up and then we could go. It's just, so we could, you know, but what I was saying is it's like, I want to ask him and everything, but it's like, I'm not here to make money because it's like, I don't know how much the guys make for doing movie reviews and everything and stuff. I bet fucking like the guys like, you know, I don't want to say, I don't know about Cinnamon Snob, but like, why can't I say his, what he used to be on the other show and everything. He's still on it.
Show.
Doug's
show.
Doug's show and everything. And he probably makes a lot of money and everything. But like for me to do this and everything, and even if it got like popular and stuff, I'd still make more money than fucking it being popular than I do right now that I don't care about and everything. That's why I say is like I said, shit, if you're on here and we watch fucking, that's why I'm like, you know, these review shows and everything, they always got like notes. They always have notes. There's always something. And I'm like, but can't we just talk about the movie though?
I stopped there. It got to a certain point where I would do a mixture of trivia that I knew about the movie and then stuff that I got from IMDb or whatever like that to front load them. Just because it's good to give people a frame of reference. But like we used to do, like watch the movie and write notes as we went. I stopped doing that because I felt that it was way better to just bounce off of the other person's comment, because then it actually is like you're actually listening and not worrying about the next note. And that's when I kind of figured it out. When I was just like, no, like instead of just sticking to the script, why don't we have a conversation about the movie and what we felt about it? And hey, it reminds me of this thing, or you know, whatever, you know?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want to do. And that's why I'm like, you know, I'm like, it's like we vibe, we get along, you know what I mean? We talk and everything. That's why when I say it's like, listen, if it got popular on your stuff and you made money and you were like, here, I'd be like, no, go put that towards the movie. Go do that. I don't give a shit.
No, but I mean, my biggest thing, man, is like, again, like a lot of people in the last few months don't talk to me anymore. So when people do reach out to me and be like, yo, do you want to do something? I never, like, not even just like, I don't say no to anything, but like, you can tell that people appreciate what you do when they ask you to come on to their thing. And anybody who's in my corner, I want to be in their corner. Any success I ever have in anything creative, I want to share with the people who believed in me, because there are so many people over the years who've made it blatantly clear that they didn't believe in me. So like, for you to come ask me to be on this, if you're like, hey, come review this thing, if I'm not working and I'm just sitting here, it costs me nothing. Other than just like, it's fun, it's I'm gonna do this anyway. I'm gonna sit and bother my cat and be like, let's talk about Freddy versus Jason, whatever. Like,
and that's
so
why
it's better to do it with another person, because I've really missed talking to other people about movies, because I can't talk to my staff about it because they're all 17 and I have no frame of reference because I'm an old man.
Hey, they're only a little bit younger than me. but like I said, my brother that I said about and everything, he's fucking in his late 40s. My sister, my youngest sister, like the youngest one, is 40 years old.
But you grew up with movies, though. You have a different frame of reference.
Yes, the only thing he hates, though, is like he hates me to say is, I love the fucking Rob Zombie Halloween movies. Well, the first one. I get hate so much. And I'm like, no.
That's a hot take right there.
Yeah, it's like, that's one thing I wanted to ask you on the show. It's like, on the podcast, I'm like, what movie do you like? That, like, not like an indie movie, but like a big movie that fucking everybody hates. What the fuck do you like? And you know what? That's one of my things. They're like, those movies are horrible. And I'm like, they're not so fucking bad for 2007. It makes sense.
Think that Rob Zombie should have made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes! Oh my God! Finally, somebody who agrees with me. Oh my God! I'm probably loud.
Its rawness and its brutality is more in the vein of the first Chainsaw, and 3 actually. It's very 1 and 3 Chainsaw wise. It felt very contrary to to John Carpenter. But then again, I look at it and I go, well, who am I to judge? 5, 6, all those are fucking terrible. Like, you know,
4 was good.
Okay.
4 was good.
Fine, but 4 is the first movie. 4 is the Force Awakens. It's just a reboot.
Yeah,
it's the same story over again.
Yeah, like when people talk about that, they'll talk about Star Wars, and I'm like, they're like, oh, which ones do you like out of the new sequels, The Force Awakens? And they're like, well, why? And I'm like, because it was fun and it was exciting, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do something. But like the other guy said, I don't like the Star Wars. Fuck you. But what really made me mad, I don't know if you know about this and stuff. If you ever read it's shot too. It was shot. The second movie was reshot to fucking the stupid.
Well, they lost a lot of the footage.
Yeah. Well, if you ever read like the actual script to the second one, I was like, why the fuck wasn't this made? This fucking movie's good. And it's like about how Laurie was going to be the actual killer the whole fucking time. And like, and yes, Michael
was a construct in her mind.
Yeah. I think the only thing, it's like, do you remember how like Michael was there and he was going to kill random people? I think that shit was still there, but like the killings that were happening in the town and stuff was not Michael Myers. Yeah, it was all, and I'm like, why wasn't this a fucking movie? And they're like,
it's weird. I respect 2 a little bit more only because they let him get weird from it. Like that is that's his Batman Returns, where they told Tim Burton, do whatever you want. They told Rob Zombie, go do whatever you want. So he made this weird, it's got like the dream sequences and shit like that. It's strange. It's very strange. And like, again, while I don't love it, I respect that they tried something different. But then again, it's like, look at part 3. 3 is my favorite. I love Season of the Witch. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I have the original poster framed in my bedroom. But it's like, okay, we tried something different and it didn't work, but at least you tried. Rob Zombie goes, look, I want to make this. I tried, people didn't like it, but this is my vision for it. It's not the version that you like. Let's stop making the same fucking movie over and over and over again.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, every fucking movie out there right now, especially every horror movie, like even with that new Chainsaw Massacre, like you told me, and I was like, they're making another one. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then it's like the new trailer made me laugh out loud when the guy's holding up the phone and it's like, I'm gonna cancel you, bro. And I was just like, oh, come on. I wanted him to fucking chainsaw him and go ratioed. Like,
if this is a shit movie, that's the only good part of the fucking movie.
And I don't understand Sally as the Laurie Strode character from the 2018 Halloween. Sally's not the kind of character who's going to get revenge. Sally, basically, they say in part 2, she said she jumped out a window in hell. You know, that's in the opening monologue of that movie, is she jumped out a window in hell. I would never go back to Texas. I'm not out for revenge. I'm broken forever because of that situation. They have her like training and preparing to go back to fight Leatherface. And I'm like, no, this isn't that. Stretch in part 2 would probably go back, you know?
This would be like what they should have done was not 2018 Halloween. They should have done like H2O, where she moved on.
Yeah.
She knows, but then they're like, he's back. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? He's back.
Because
that makes sense.
It was going to be that there was a copycat killer in H2O, and it was going to be the other friend, the dude who dies in the dumbwaiter in H2O, was going to be a guy who was actually being a copycat killer of Michael Myers, and then the Weinsteins made them take that out. That would have been a way more interesting thing, but those killings actually the reports of those killings and the connection to Laurie Strode would have been what brought Michael Myers to her, would have been a way more interesting idea than Michael just drives across the country.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. It's like fucking the Halloween movie. Like, I like the new Halloween movie and stuff, but it's like when I heard, oh yeah, we could have had Daniel Harris as the daughter instead, and I'm like, excuse me, you didn't have oh no, but like people would be confused. People weren't confused in the freaking remakes, okay? And it's
you're gonna have 3 Batmans this year. We're fine. People will get it.
I don't fucking get that. Like I said to my it's my brother-in-law who's more famous than the Dark Knight. You know, because he has more lines in the Dark. He has more screen footage in the Dark Knight. You know,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, but he's holding that Batwing, and he goes, hey, you know what? He also did I Am Number 4. You ever watch that movie? He did a lot of stuff like the rain and everything. He's sitting there while that's coming up. He's doing a lot of things. He just did a I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show, but with Christian Bale again. Got to meet him and say hi again and stuff. But you know, he got to do that and everything again. It's a new show. He couldn't tell me what it was called and stuff because of the things like
all the NDAs and all.
But yeah, the only time he was like allowed to like tell me, because everybody fucking knows Batman was being shot there. Yeah. But yeah, so but what I was saying though about all that and everything is you know, wait, what the fuck? God damn it, I went off track.
About there being three Batmans this year.
Oh, three Batmans and everything. I said to him, I was like, why isn't not Ben Affleck, but why isn't what Edward, I should say, because I don't fucking get what Robert Pattinson? Yeah, him. Why didn't they make him the fucking TV show where he's that son? Like, was it Batman and Beyond? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, Terry McGinnis.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, why didn't they do?
I thought it would have been more interesting if you said it in this before Affleck was done with the part, because I genuinely thought he was the Batman that I've been waiting for my entire life.
He is. I don't care what anybody says.
He's a brawler, and I've always loved the idea of old man Batman, where he basically realizes that all these years of training his body, his mind, everything, it doesn't matter. He's going to get older and crime's still going to exist. So now he's becoming more violent, because A, he can't do the ninja shit that he used to do, and B, because he's becoming more desperate. As we get older, I'm old, I can say this, you start to realize that you have less road ahead of you than you had behind. So the thing about Batman versus Superman that really hit me was he's talking to Alfred in the remains of what was Wayne Manor, and he says, I'm older than my father ever got to be. So he's outlived his father, who he's been fighting for all these years. He goes, he's basically paraphrased, killing God may be the only thing I ever do that matters, because you take out a villain, but another one's going to pop up. It's never going to end. We need to do something that's going to last beyond us. And that's what I keep thinking about my filmmaking and writing and stuff. Like, I keep thinking about that line. What do we do that we leave behind that actually mattered? You know? So I love the Affleck Batman. Plus that warehouse scene where he just beats the shit out of all those dudes is amazing. You know?
He looks like the part, and it's like, It's
And the
just like,
suit is perfect. The gray suit, you know.
and that's actually fucking
I
him underneath it.
have both of them on top of my fridge right now, or on my stove right now. The Affleck Batman and the Dark Knight Returns.
Did you put that back there
Batman.
for this?
I did, yeah. So people are like, "Oh, okay." I moved everything for another shoot I did because I'm finally cooking here. But I was like, "Oh crap!" I had to dig everything out of the closet and put it back up to my brand. What I think is going to be funny is when I move into the studio, I might just green screen my kitchen into the background and then turn it off and then have people think I was in a green screen the entire time.
Just fucking be like that. There was that one YouTuber and stuff that had a had a fridge in the back, and they're like, "What's in the fridge?" And he turns around and turns it. There's nothing, and it's a cardboard cutout of a fridge because he was in his kitchen before, and then he acted like he was like still in the area, and they're like, "What's in the fridge? What's in the fridge? Nothing." It's like, whoa, yeah. But yeah, I would. That would be funny as hell.
Oh, but I was saying, if you would have set this new Batman movie in the 80s or the 90s, and then you bookend it with Ben Affleck as the older Bruce Wayne looking back on this adventure or this story, because it's going to be about the Court of Owls, basically, and the Riddler knows stuff about Bruce Wayne's lineage. I thought that would be interesting, the idea that this older Bruce Wayne looks back on a time when, you know, because if you know anything about the Court of Owls, they're a secret organization which has been working in Gotham all these years that even Bruce Wayne doesn't know about.
It is speaking of Dean Winchester, he played in that recent one and everything. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He was that one was weird and everything too. Because it was like it was kind of set in now, but also like in the 40s. Like there was 40s cars, but like people had cell phones, so it didn't make any fucking sense. But
the animated series did that a lot too. There was modern technology, but fucking noir style. I think Batman works best when you set him in a time period that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you don't need to be fucking in that. That's exactly what she's like they're doing with the Halloween movies. They're like, oh, we're gonna have COVID and mass and stuff. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? This is Halloween. It is fake.
And people, exactly. People go to the movies to escape that.
Nobody wants to talk about it. Exactly. Like they do it in TV shows. And you know what they did? I know you're not a big gamer person. So they make people wear masks in the fucking Spider-Man game. They updated the game for people
it's like Spider-Man's wearing a mask. Everybody else isn't. That's the point, you know?
Yeah. Now everybody's wearing a mask. Like, the new Halloween and everything. They're like, what the fuck you mean? What is he gonna go around and be confused? Like, what's going on? Why is everybody wearing one?
So now these companies go, look, everyone is understaffed right now. So you're working your job and you're working harder because other people don't want that job. So you're already stressed out about the COVID thing. Come home and escape into your fantasy where you're automatically reminded about COVID again. How does that make sense? How do these people get to keep their fucking job and I'm doing movie reviews in my fucking kitchen? You know what I mean?
What the fuck is going on? Like, I'm in my damn basement, okay? I have a fucking computer desk that I bought off of Facebook off of some lady who said, I don't want this no more. And I'm like, oh, I need a new computer desk. Behind me, there's my couch from my mother-in-law, even though I could have bought a new one. But I decided she's like, I'm moving to Florida. Take my brand new couch I bought two months ago. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I got a TV. I got video games. Like, Jesus Christ. I got a gun. There's like a gun cabinet. And then there's there's a Jewish Christmas tree. And I'm not Jewish, okay?
Okay.
I call it that and stuff because it's my wife made me get blue, white, and silver. And I was like,
okay,
that's the Jewish Christmas tree. And she's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, fuck yeah, it is, okay?
The Hanukkah bush. Yeah. I'm lapsed Catholic. I don't really.
Don't even. Listen. I am fucking native and stuff. My wife and her family are fucking Catholic and everything, and they're like, they're doing this. No, the fuck, there aren't anything. I am not I believe in God and Jesus. I don't know what you believe. I think I don't know if you believe in anything, but
I don't. But
exactly. But listen, I don't go to fucking church. I'm not going to go to church because, in my opinion, and a lot of people get mad at me for saying this and stuff. I believe that a lot of those things are in the fucking Bible is a bunch of fucking bullshit. It was made to keep people fucking. It was made, and they're like, here you go. These are all the things you need to talk about. This actually was there and everything. Yes, and everything. But here's a list of things we can actually fuck with people with. That's how I feel like. Like
I always tell people, I'm like, at some point somebody looked at a pile of rocks and said, man, I really need that pile of rocks over here. Hey, you, God told me to move remove those rocks. Why? God, I don't know. God told me.
Fucking God, God
told
talks to me, man. Like, Jesus. Yeah, that's like, I believe in God and everything and stuff. Like, I always tell people, it's like, listen, like, oh, we about church and everything. Listen, if you believe in God and you believe like how you say it and everything, I don't mean to sound Christian.
You can have your own thing anywhere. I know people who believe in crystals. I know people who believe in all this stuff.
Dude, that's what she fucking believes in. She's
Yeah.
the Wiccan thing and stuff, like even though she's Catholic and everything, and I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, stop taking my fucking religion. Like it's not like because I'm half white and everything, but it's like it's also like people are like, oh yeah, that's a Wiccan thing. No, that was a native thing, and we were idiots. The only thing that actually worked and stuff that actually healed people was weed. Get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Little stuff that was put in the bowl, and we got hypnotized from it and stuff, and got rid of the pain. That's the only thing we did that worked. Shut the fuck up.
I'm an energy guy. You can usually feel from people, not in like a weird way, but you can tell when people are like negative energy, because that's how I was for a long time.
Yeah.
And I believe in that kind of shit, but I also just believe in, like, if you put good out into the world, you know, people are going to treat you differently. And if you put bad out in the world, people are going to treat you differently. And if you treat people right, that's all I believe in. Just, I don't fucking care what you are. Just don't be a fucking dickhead, you know? But what I was saying about the tree was, people are always like, oh, you should get a Christmas tree. I was like, why? So my cat can destroy it?
Yeah.
She ruins everything. So that's why I don't have anything, you know?
My one buddy, I tell him all the time, though, because he doesn't have a Christmas tree, because he's always worked at Walmart and everything before he got his job and stuff. He's like, I hate it because of the fucking people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then he's like, I'm like, yeah, but like, you're trying. I'm like, listen, you're trying to get women. And he's like, yeah, that's a thing you're going to have to get women with. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't mean to say you, but I'm like, yeah, not you, but what I mean by him, like you're saying like, oh, I don't like Christmas tree. Yours is sustainable, but like him and stuff, he believes in everything. He likes Christmas and everything. He likes Christmas Day. He's happy with it. And I'm like, listen, if you want, I don't want to sound like this and I'm going to get hated for saying, you want to get some pussy, you better fucking get a Christmas tree on Christmas, because if you bring back a woman,
maybe I'll have to next year. So Christmas is the worst day of the year for me. Some 3 bad things have happened to me on Christmas, so I avoid Christmas. The cancer diagnosis was on the 24th. Getting kicked out by an ex-girlfriend, have to move back across the country was that. And then something else this past year happened on Christmas as well. Oh, was it a car accident on Christmas too?
Your Jeep. That some lady backed up into you
just
and
fucking
stuff.
Backed up into me. So and then that Reddit group was like, he fakes car accidents so that people feel sorry for him.
Yes, he faked car accidents where it costs either, if he ran off and stuff, he would have to pay for it or get a deductible and insurance. Yeah, he did that. Not like body work costs money. It's okay.
It was that this year, and then in 2014, a woman in the bank parking lot hit me not paying attention. She was texting. So that, and then I was in 2012, I almost died in a car accident. Really? I was hit by a the Crystal, the one I used to be friends with. She was going to be a seat filler at the Tony Awards, and she used to live in a not great area, and she was having this really beautiful dress delivered. I said, deliver it to my house, I will take it to you. So I got it, and I was driving to drop off a laptop to my brother because he had just lost his job and he was about to have a baby. So I gave him my extra laptop. And as I was driving to where she used to live, a dude ran a red light in one of those like township utility trucks that do like the ground crew.
Yeah, I know.
He destroyed me. Like I broke like all kinds of stuff. And
Jesus.
Yeah, so like I was like, those are the car accidents I've been in. Nothing about that. I don't want attention for that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, people are insane, you know?
Yeah. But you were saying though, so in 2012, that one of the, I know what it is. It's a township. I know because I've worked on them before and everything. Yeah. And one of those big old fucking trucks that like goes around, just smash the fuck out of you.
He smashed me bad. And yeah, I was in bad shape from that one for quite a while. Actually, I chipped my orbital bone and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, it was bad. I had a concussion, so like I couldn't go to sleep, and it was, yeah. And I just wanted to get my friend her dress, you know.
Oh Jesus. I'm
a parody of a tragedy, is what I tell people.
But I don't know why. I don't know why. The thing is though, it's like some of the things that you tell me and stuff and everything, and I'm sitting there like, I thought I had some bad stuff happen to me. Like
No, but a lot of it is self-inflicted, man. I made,
Is
like I
it?
said, no,
Is
like
it though?
car accidents you can't do anything about.
Yeah. Your
Not getting,
cancer, like you couldn't do
well,
anything about
cancer you can't
cancer.
do anything about, but
Your
like
bell palsy. Yeah, did you
the
think you had?
well, no,
Did you
the
think you
Bell's
had a
palsy.
stroke when that happened?
I thought I had a stroke.
That's why I was like, I never asked.
Yeah,
I was like, did you think you had a stroke? Because it's like,
yeah,
did you just wake up and it was like all down on your?
yeah, yep. Yeah, it was terrifying. And then I drove to work because there was things going on that I had to do that day. And then I waited until my lunch break where I could go to the hospital because they needed me to do certain things. And then I came back to work after that. So I didn't take off that day because so much stuff had to get done for inventory and all. So I worked and I was like terrified the entire time. But again, self-inflicted, man. Like all the shit that happened with Monster Madness, I
Yeah.
fucked up. The shit with not asking for help, I fucked up. I have nobody to blame but myself. And then I did kind of a pity party thing on online, trying to justify some of my own mistakes and all that, and that gets you nowhere. Just owning up to things and saying, hey, stop blaming certain people for things because this was on me, on this stuff and how I acted. Had I just been smarter about things and we had explained what had happened and broken it down, but I just started lashing out and getting angry because things were falling apart and I just didn't know how to deal with it,
Yeah, and it's understandable. The thing is, man, is like no matter what, it's not like it you can't ever say that it's 100% your fault because
no, but I mean you can accept the parts of it that are your fault.
oh yeah, if I fucking was working at a dealership and stuff
Mhm.
and I fucking I pushed something along and didn't do it correct, like let's just say I was a manager and stuff or like a top head mechanic and everything at a dealership because I used to work, so I used to work at one of them as before and stuff, and I know how it works and everything. If I had an apprentice that did something to a car and I'm like, yeah, it's fine, I was fucking like not paying attention to it and stuff, and I just pushed it through, I was gonna get in trouble, like I would be in trouble and stuff and everything for doing that because I was the head guy, I was watching him, he's my apprentice, he's supposed to be, he is doing the job and stuff and getting paid for the job while I'm getting fucking paid to be a manager, like head guy. But it's understandable. And yes, you know what I mean? You can be upset and you can not be upset on why they did it, but I mean, it is what it is and stuff. And I mean,
no,
now
that's where it is now. And I know that people still blame certain people who, don't talk to me anymore. They still blame them for things. And it's not their fault that they stayed with something after I was gone, and
oh, what? Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? They got to do what they have to do and stuff.
Exactly. And it sucks because I can't speak for people and all that. So it's just like you're kind of caught in the middle of it. So I find it's just best medicine to just keep doing my own thing. People ask me questions. Hey, do you still talk to those people? It's like, no, we're kind of doing our own thing now. I don't want to shit talk anybody because, where does that get you? Then you're just this dude who can't let go of something that's more popular than you are. And I there are a couple of those people who I would in the future when things cool down still like to try to be friends with, because I feel like I'm a better person now than I was before. I feel like I'm becoming a better man, a better everything. And it's like I'd like one day to be able to show those people, look, you thought I was this, and I am that now. I was that person that you thought I could be. And that's where I would like to be one day. And this isn't going to happen overnight. And maybe I never get that opportunity with people. But all I can do now is never make the mistakes that I made again. Like I keep saying is like, not to not make this fun or anything like that and make it a therapy session or something. But it's like, I'm still dealing a lot with those things. And even though I'm doing psychiatry and I'm doing therapy and I'm taking meds and all that, and I do feel better every day, and I am, still people harass me for things, but less and less harass me these days. And when they do, I'm able to roll with it a little bit more. Just every day, just trying to be a better person and just try to get back into a creative flow so I can prove to people that I'm not a thief and that I'm not a piece of shit and I'm not a pity party guy. You and I have been talking a lot. Like, you get a pretty good sense of who I am.
Yeah.
And it just sucks that so many people believe that about me, but I let people believe that about me for a long time because that's the person that I was, you know, and now it's like you need to rewrite that, and a lot of people aren't going to come with you. A lot of people you're never going to get back, but maybe you'll find new people along the way, you know.
Yeah, well, I knew when I first started talking to you, I
Mhm.
was like, when I first got that phone call and stuff, I try to
Mhm.
be like proper and everything. And I'm
Yeah,
like, hey, is this Newt? Like, I was
yeah,
like, hey, you know, like,
yeah,
you're probably like, oh God, one of these
yeah.
motherfuckers.
No, not at all, man, not at all.
But when you immediately told me, you like literally like spit out like 10 different things in the meeting of fucking
Mhm.
1 minute, and I'm like, this is going to be, he's telling me shit that's real, and
Yeah.
you're not bullshitting. And if you're personally telling me about your personal business, I
Mhm.
don't, you know what I mean? You don't know me. Fuck, I could be a
No, and
serial
but I
killer.
just want, like, there are certain things, like I said, there are certain things I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, you told
You
me it.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, I said these are the things I don't want to talk about. This is the stuff that's going on in my life. This is what people are saying about me. This is, you know, this is where I fucked up, and you know, I'm just gonna be honest, because if you want to have an honest conversation with somebody, you got to go like, look, these are the fucking warts and all of this bullshit. And you know, because I also don't want people to be like, he said, she said stuff, and then you don't watch the other thing that you liked because it's like, oh, well, I like this dude. No, I don't want that. I don't want there to be a line in the sand, like, because I'm not doing what those people are doing. I'm not out here shit talking those people. You know, I'm just being me. I'm just talking to fucking motherfuckers, and you know, and working my regular Joe job, and trying to make money, and putting my money that I make that's extra into these other things, because who knows if I could get bigger doing something else eventually, and then I won't have to work in a movie theater anymore. You know, that's my ultimate goal, is like, I want to be bigger than I want to be more fulfilled than I've been before, and get away from it and create something, you know.
Yeah. That's the you know, that's the one of the things that's like, you can't hate or do anything that you
Yeah.
did before and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All the people can complain about anything, and they can take
And they're
sides.
gonna
Yeah, they're
it's
going
never
to
gonna
do it.
I'm gonna be followed by that for the rest of my life. No
Oh
matter
yeah.
what I do, I'm gonna get followed by it, and it's just about coming to terms with that kind of shit, and being able to keep moving. You're going to get hit with it, and again, like, I put myself in that position.
Oh
If
yeah.
this was something that came out of nowhere, that's fucked up, man. I hate this, that people say this, that, and the other thing. And there are things that people say that are blatantly not true, and I take those things to task. But there are other things where I go, there's a lot of other versions of this story. There's a lot of other people who can get thrown under the bus for things. But where does that get me? Where does it get me to go, oh, yeah, well, this person did this? Nowhere. People have already made up their minds about me. I'm not going to change people's minds. I'm not going to make people on Reddit all of a sudden go, oh, he's a good dude. But what I can do is, the people who do still believe in me, I can try my best not to make it worse, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I do every day, is try not to make it worse.
Yeah. Uh, See, I want to say this is that, you know, it's best that you are fighting your demons, because I tell
Yeah.
you what, and everything, you probably do a lot more than I have for the past
Mm,
how many years and everything, because I know how you feel. You know what I
yeah.
mean? People don't know, but I know how you feel and stuff. I've
Hmm.
struggled with depression and everything, and you
Yeah.
know, people don't notice that. People know the guy that they laugh and they, you know,
Yeah.
whatever and stuff. And I still get depressed and everything. You
Hmm.
know, I still have depression every day. You're, no matter what, man, is that no matter what person you go to, no matter what pill, you're
Hmm.
still going to get upset about something at a
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know how you feel, and what I feel and what has happened to me and stuff for how many years and other things and
Hmm.
stuff. You know what I mean? It's just everything piles up, and then I feel the way I do and stuff.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. My family doesn't understand that.
Hmm.
But you know what I mean? Because I don't know if they struggle with depression. You know what I mean? But then also two people who are like, oh, I struggle with depression, but they don't understand when you try to tell them, and then be like, oh, it's not as bad because you fucking, you know what I mean? Yours
Yeah.
could be worse.
When someone compares their pain to another person's pain,
Yeah, it
it's never
doesn't.
healthy. And plus, with men in general, there's a stigma around
We're
it.
not this thing and stuff.
Yeah.
Men are the most people who's actually commit suicide. Men are the
Exactly.
all
And
these things. It's
yeah, and that's kind of the shitty part, and that's why, like, I talked to some people recently, you know, a couple months ago, and they were like, you need to stop talking about your problems because it looks bad optics wise. And I was just like, no, because there's a lot of other people who maybe don't know, if a guy who makes you laugh and is funny all the time on some fucking show is really dealing with this stuff. Oh, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay if I talk about it too.
Yeah.
Fucking Robin Williams killed himself. Like one of the funniest dudes who ever lived killed himself. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And like I attempted 3 times, obviously, because I just, things just kept falling apart. And I eventually got to the point where I was like, well, there's a reason that it didn't work. There's got to be a reason that I'm here. And then just talking to other people who go like, yeah, I was dealing with this too. And even if I don't know these people, just like somebody who can listen to them, and I go, yo, I don't judge. If I judge people, I wouldn't have any fucking friends, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, tell me what's going on with you. And it makes people feel a little bit better to have somebody to talk to. I'm not there to be like, well, here's what I would do. No, just listen. That's all people want, is just somebody to listen to them, you know? And that's kind of where I am on things right now, and trying to like help, because at least I can do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't understand that. And I'll tell you what, I never got to that point, and that's where I can't relate with everything and stuff. You know what I mean? I've known people that are like that. You know what I mean? I know you, but it's like,
yeah,
I've never gotten that, and I don't think it's like, I don't know. I just feel like in my mind, it's just like, it doesn't matter. It's just like,
yeah,
it doesn't.
no, and that was the thing. It got to a point where it was just too much all at once.
Really,
you lose so much, and you just look around and you go like, well, what's this worth? And what did happen was a lot of people reached out to me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, Facebook, who I didn't know, who just watched the show or something like that, who were just like, hey man, like you're going through this thing right now, and they just checked on me every day to make sure I was okay. And that meant a lot to me, where I was just like, well, I need to be better, not just for myself, but because these people believed in me. And that's what I keep saying throughout this entire thing, is like, finding value in yourself is super important, but also making sure you pay back the people who are real and who are really there for you is super important, because there were a lot of people who were really there for me over the years who I didn't listen to because I was trying to do it all myself. And now those people are gone, and I live with that guilt forever. But it's like, I can't do it again. I can't lose other people in my life because of that. So, and that's kind of how I've been living. And I know that it's not funny now. We're not having a good time. But...
Well, we were. You could tell we were. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this. We can move on to something that's not so depressing and everything. But
exactly.
I will say this. At least have a little bit of the video left to be like, people are like, this is sad. Like like let's have some fun before we go. But I will say this and everything, man, is like, I'll give you this advice and everything, is that no matter what has happened, even in the past couple months and everything with people and stuff, is that remember is that people die for people who are addicted to drugs and everything, and then they're finally like, fuck you, and then they don't talk to them and everything. And then when those people finally get they're finally clean, it might take years and stuff for somebody to trust you and talk to you again and stuff. That's why when you tell me, they're like, listen, I'd like to be friends and everything with certain people, some of them not and everything, but then it's like, it's understandable, because you have, people get sick and tired of it, and then they're like, finally like, I'm done. So it's like, if it takes you 5 years to start talking to some of the people that you talk to. And so I know you did tell me, I don't know.
Yeah, I had a converation recently. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've talked people and everything's, with certain people and everything, but you know what I mean? So it's like, you can't be like, oh, I'm never going to talk to anybody ever again and stuff. You still have to be like, maybe 5 years down the line and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of put that stuff out of my mind right now more than anything. Is like, what's important right now is fixing me before I can try. That's
the most important. And I think that's the reason, like I say, I think about people who get drug addicts and stuff, they literally go and do it. And then people who are actually done and everything, they have a job now. They have a house.
We're in February now. Like, this just happened in October.
Yeah.
It's still an open wound for me too. Like, so it takes time, and I let people kind of have their space and do my thing and try my best not to talk shit or have people talk shit on my behalf. so that it creates more rifts, because every time you think you're making steps forward, some asshole says something online and then there's nothing you can do about it, you know? So it's one of those things.
Yeah,
But
that's why when I talked about the other shows and stuff and
Mhm.
everything, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not talking shit. I'm still a fan
Yeah.
of things and stuff. You know what I mean? I
And
wouldn't.
you're someone who watches something, you have your own opinion of it,
Yeah.
and I just sit and smile.
Yeah, you know, yeah, that's how it is and stuff. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I
Yeah.
will come to you and be like, listen, this was not a good thing and stuff
Yeah.
and everything. But that doesn't, you're not going to be like, oh, we're not on here to be like, fuck you, go fuck
Yeah,
yourself and
no.
everything. You're a horrible person. No, we're
'Cause
just
they're
talking
hard.
about.
Yeah, because they're hard workers, and whether you like the content or not, they're still
Yeah.
putting out content every week. All these people who people talk shit about, they're still doing it. Like, you're talking about it, but they're doing it. So it's a completely different story, you know?
The one question that I was going to
Yeah.
ask you right now,
Mhm.
maybe you could tell me this or not and
Yeah.
everything. Where do they shoot that stuff at?
At the main office.
The main, so like
Yeah.
the two-sided like show thing and stuff is the
Is
main
all in
office.
the studio in the office. Yep.
Okay, then that's the one thing I
Mhm.
wanted to ask and everything, because I did like listen to, I don't know how long ago episode it was and everything and
Mhm.
stuff, and I did he jokingly said and everything, it's not like all this is in my basement. And I was
Yeah.
like, is it in your basement? I was like, I
No,
feel like
yeah,
this
no.
is, I don't,
was-
yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to tell me this or
Yeah,
not
no,
and
they had a
everything.
studio. They had a studio in the main offices. It was a 3-floor building. Basement has the conference room and everything, and then there was
Yeah.
a studio is soundproofed and locked in and stuff like that. The video store was on one side. The podcast studio is on the other side. It used to be the game store, the Fucko Land store.
Oh, sorry, my wife
That's
walked
okay.
downstairs
Oh,
and
all
everything.
right, yeah.
I'm like, oh Jesus, but the one thing I do have to ask and everything. So, James is in his basement, right?
It's at he has a studio at his house.
Okay, so it's his house.
It's not in the basement, though.
It's not in the basement like everybody.
No.
Oh my
His
God.
old house used to be.
Oh,
now
okay.
it's in a studio that's separate from the house.
Jesus, that was like, I thought it was the same house.
Nope, they made it look the same.
Oh my, you could have you could have everything, like anything, building a new place and stuff. And he said,
that's why
that's
why the background was green screen for a long time, because they were trying to match it. So there was certain periods of time where it was green screen in the background so that they could match it up.
Really? I did not.
Yeah,
I did not know this and everything.
Mhm.
Jesus. Well, at least you're allowed to tell me this. That's the one thing I always wondered and stuff. And I bet some people like to know. You know what I mean? You're telling me a good thing that you're like, oh yeah, they have this stuff. And I bet a lot of people not know this and everything.
Yeah, and
I don't want.
We redid the video store set. We moved everything around in there once and made it a little bit more of the host's style of it. And then we broke down the game store and we made the podcast studio. Justin Silverman and I put all that slat wall up and got the table and stuff like that. I had built a podcast studio and a streaming studio somewhere else in the building that we never used, so that got broken down and all moved. And yeah, there was I did a bunch of stuff while I was there with sets and stuff.
Jesus Christ, that's why I was wondering. I was like, dang, I'm like, because it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, if you do like what we're doing right now and stuff, you're in your house, I'm in my house and stuff and everything, and you're like thinking in your head, I don't, this isn't costing any money. And then I was like, oh damn, they have like a thing in a basement where if he rents or he, you know what I mean, he owns or anything. And I'm like, that's fucking cool because you're not spending anything. But like the coolest thing that you just said and everything is like, at least, you know, with video game nerd and stuff and everything, at least he's like, oh yeah, that's my house though. It's on my property. I'm not renting a studio or anything. You know what I mean?
And the new, the old show is moving to the new studio. They're moving into a new building, which will be much bigger and all that kind of stuff. I was there when they were gutting it. I mean, obviously I'm not around now for when they move, but it'll be pretty state-of-the-art building and it'll be theirs. So I'm interested to see what the sets look like when they move and stuff like that. But again, I'm doing the same thing. I just put up a video today that's behind the scenes from 2017 of the studio that I was in, that I'm turning back into my studio space again, that I'm renting from a guy. And that's going to be an endeavor. That's going to be a costly endeavor, but I need the space to be able to do some of the other stuff that I want to do. So I've just been saving, putting money aside and all that kind of stuff so I can do it.
Now, what were you doing in 2017? Which project was that?
Just my own stuff, just
your own
putting
stuff.
together random things. Yeah. Yep. I was just throwing shit at the wall and see what stuck, you know?
Well, so let's get a little happy with this and stuff.
Okay.
I had a
Yeah.
couple questions to ask you and
Sure.
everything for your personal and stuff. So,
Okay.
so not like personal, but like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
Personal, but like,
We've already
yeah.
gotten personal for the last 2 hours.
Jesus. We're like, we're gonna have to do another one where we actually talk about this because it's like, oh, I was gonna be personal for a whole hour, and then it was gonna be another, but it's like, damn it.
Yeah, we just talked.
Yeah, we just like, that's the thing, is like we vibe and we're just like, yeah, fuck it, you know what I mean, we're having a good time. But I was gonna ask you, what do you think is wrong with the movie industry right now? Hold on, I'm listening to you.
Okay.
In my shit right here underneath me, so if I can go underneath.
What I think is wrong with the movie industry in general is streaming is the way of the future. And a lot of we're still in a place where some people don't see where, you know, what's the Wayne Gretzky thing? Don't go to where the puck is, go to where the puck is going.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are still holding on to the old way of doing things. And I feel like there's a disconnect with storytellers and all that, because now that things are streaming, you don't have to hit the movie theater window where you have to release the remake, the sequel, the reboot. Now you could try different things, but a lot of people are still tied to the old model of stuff. So you're getting these weird, you're not getting the type of stories you could be getting where you can reignite people's passions and make them excited about movies again. A lot of them are just going like, well, we still have to reboot Ghostbusters, or although I like Ghostbusters, whatever. You know, but it's just like what I did actually.
Oh, you did? I haven't seen it yet. I was excited for it, and then I watched a couple reviews about it, and then people were like, "Oh yeah, it's different," and I'm like,
it made me feel good. I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel good.
I did see that scene where he was back, and I was like, I started tearing up.
Exactly, and it ends on like that. It was a beautiful ending. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these models of how movies are made and how I don't think that they understand the market and how streaming is really working yet. I would start moving away from doing movies for movie theaters if they're not big tentpole movies. The only thing that should be coming to theaters are Star Wars, Marvel, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then everything else could be broken up into shorter form series, because I think a lot more people are into binging stuff right now. So you could do a lot more longer form storytelling throughout a series, you know?
Yeah, kind of like the I do you follow Star Wars at all, really?
I don't have Disney Plus now, but like I keep up with what all the what's
you
going
say
on with...
You say now. Why did you get rid of it?
When I stopped reviewing movies, I got rid of all my streaming services just because I didn't need them as much, and because I was just to save money as well, you know.
Well, if you ever like we're watching shit and everything, I don't give a fuck. You can borrow my streaming.
Okay.
Streaming.
Don't say that the FBI can hear you.
Yeah. Wait, hold on a minute. Oh God.
Yeah. No, so I used to have all of them because we used to watch the new movies and then do a review quickly after that. But once I no longer was with that company, I got rid of everything that I didn't need, and I was just like, look, we're gonna go back to bare bones on stuff. I'm trying to watch a lot more tutorials on YouTube of how to do certain editing things and camera stuff, and I'm trying to teach myself more things, reading a lot more. And then with the show I do, I use Tubi because it's a lot of trash. And then I have a million DVDs. Like, you know, why is this shit just taking up space if I'm not going to watch it, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean by that and everything. Because I know I got it, and now I was watching it. I literally got it just to watch Swamp Zombie 2 again. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking watch this again. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking watch it again. And then like boom, it was like I was like, this app seems actually really good. I mean, if they kept things on there a little longer than they are, it would be a little better. But I see what you mean by that. What I meant by saying about that and everything, I know they're doing the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
It's an hour long for like, what is it? Like, yeah, it's an hour long for each episode. And it's like, people are like, that's a fucking movie, you know, that's a small movie. And like, there's 4 of them. I think there's 4 to 5 or 6 episodes. Doesn't matter.
And again, you're younger than me, but I think about like why I can't get too cynical about this shit, because if you would have told me in 1989 that one day there was going to be a Boba Fett TV show, or there was going to be a show just about the Mandalorian, I'd have been like, what? Like, that would have been the most amazing fucking thing in the entire world. If you would have told me one day there's going to be 3 Batmans in 1 year, I'd have been like, so I'm trying to think more about like when I was a kid, when
There's
I was
gonna
still
be 3
excited.
Batmans in one movie.
Well, yeah, well, there's 3 Spider-Mans in one movie. You know,
Yeah,
it's just like, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would see these things. So I'm just like, I'm trying to let myself not be cynical and go, yeah, the dollars and cents and the IPs and the SEOs and all that kind of stuff, and go like, little kid me would have fucking died for this, you know? So bring it on and put it all in my fucking eye holes, you know?
yeah.
I'm gonna freebase that shit.
Yeah, that's how I like it. That's why when people
Yeah.
complain and they're like, there's, like, it's not good. I'm like, there really isn't not that good of stuff these days, especially like coming out of things. Like,
Yeah.
yes, the Star Wars thing happened. It sucked.
Like the 3 new movies were not great. They went in without a
Captain
plan.
Marvel.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of the new Marvel stuff I haven't been crazy about. But
I
mean, like,
I didn't like, everybody doesn't like Internals. People like that Shang-Li thing.
I
and
didn't
stuff.
see Shang-Chi only because it came out at a bad time and I really wasn't checking out movies in September and October. But I'm gonna watch it. I read the comics when I was younger,
Yeah.
you know, and I like some of the characters that are involved in it. But again, it's like, I'm not rushing out to see this stuff. Like, a lot of the only reason I've seen them is because my friends want to watch them, and it gives me an excuse to hang out with people. So I run them after closing. Like, I'm just doing it, just like why I made Swamp Zombies, is just to spend time with people. I don't really care about the movie, but I want to have people around me again, you know?
That's why when you said to me and stuff, you're well, hold up, I do have to say this though, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I'll probably be like, you are not a Marvel fan. I haven't seen Doctor Strange.
I like Doctor Strange.
He's like him.
He's my second favorite Marvel character. So.
I like him a lot, and I liked him in the Avengers movies, and I liked him in the new Spider-Man movie, and I was like, why haven't I seen the actual movie? Like, I was like,
it was directed by Scott Derrickson too, who's a horror guy. Got to start writing the direct-to-video Hellraiser movies. Like, I think he did Deader, one of them, and then he did like Sinister and stuff like that.
Here's another horror thing and stuff. I haven't seen a lot of the other Hellraiser movies.
Oh, you don't have to.
I've seen the first couple, but like when you got to space, I was like,
yeah. Just see 1 and 2, and then you don't have to. Like, one of them's got like fucking Henry Cavill in it in his first role, you know.
Yeah, I've seen like 3 and 4 and stuff, and other things. That's just like, how many is there?
I think there's over 10 now.
Yeah, there's more than fucking Jason. Yeah. There's more. No, I'm just about to say there's more Jason when there's not. There's 12
Friday the 13th movies. Yeah.
Well.
Freddy versus Jason counts.
Yeah, I know that. I know it counts and everything, but when people say that, I'm like, yeah, but it's like, it's not a Friday. It does count and everything. Yeah. It's Friday. A reason why I'm okay with it counting and stuff is because it's more about fucking Jason than it is about Freddy and stuff.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with fucking, like, it has the characters that like they put together into Freddy and stuff. But like the actual setting, it's like, it's more.
Yeah,
it's both. Right. It's 2000. It's 2000 and something.
Yeah.
It's this music. It's Matthew Lillard and fucking Scooby-Doo, and you know what I mean. That's what
I don't remember. I've only seen parts of the remake. The Derek Mears one where he plays Jason, because he went on to play Swamp Thing as well, and I remember only seeing parts of it.
You know what? Maybe that should be our first.
Maybe we should watch that. I've been talking about. I actually have the DVD, and it's.
I have it on Blu-ray. I have it on Blu-ray.
Well, I have the Blu-ray, but I've never opened it up, because I bought the box set.
I have. Oh, do you have the really expensive box set?
Yeah.
It was oh my god.
Yeah.
I do too, and it's like fucking like, what is it, like worth like $300 now? And I've sat down. Yes. Oh my god. I just saw it on shelves like in my friend's gaming store the other day, and he has it for 120, and I'm like, damn, I should buy this off of him just to put it up.
Yeah.
It's like just to put up online, because I was like, dude, you know that sells for like $500 on eBay right now, and he's like, I don't give a shit. Who's coming in our town paying $500.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I like the movie, but yeah, I did really like the new one and stuff. But let's talk about that later. Let's do that review. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that review and everything. Okay, everybody, you heard that. It'll be coming out sometime this month. We'll do the Friday the 13th
remake,
remake and everything.
Was that what, 2013?
No, 2009.
The remake was 2009.
Yes, actually, the do you remember? So Sam from from Supernatural and
Yeah,
Supernatural.
nice.
Oh, you like you said about demons and stuff. I got a demon
Mhm.
girl on my leg. Like I
Oh,
have,
nice.
like where like
Nice.
I have like this whole arm. I have a tattoo
Mhm.
artist, and she's about to fucking do all of it, just horror shit. And I'm like, yeah. Like my wife's like, I wish you got the demon girl bigger on your leg. And I'm like, yeah, but how's Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers and a bunch of other horror characters supposed to fit
Yeah,
on
exactly.
but what I was saying though, so the Sam from Supernatural, it's not Jensen, and I forget how Sam, the person who plays Sam, but Sam from Supernatural and everything.
Yeah.
He did he did Friday the 13th, while Jensen did My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine.
So they took a time off of shooting the show to do
Yeah.
2 movies, and those are the 2 movies that they did.
I loved the My Bloody Valentine remake.
Yes. Oh
In
my
3D.
God.
I saw it in 3D. It was fucking
I
great.
did too. I was a little
Yeah.
kid. My mom loved the original, and she's like, "We're gonna go
Me
see
too.
this."
Tom Atkins gets the pickaxe through the mouth. It's great.
I don't know why people hate that movie. Why does people hate
I
that
don't know.
fucking movie?
Eh.
It would be like, is there? I mean, people were like, "Oh, well, there's no actual killer. It's him." And I'm like, was it like that in the original?
Yeah, the original one was the dude because he watched the miner kill his dad. So when he found out that they were bringing back the Valentine's dance, he started killing people and blaming it on Harry Warden.
Then how is it not as good as the original?
Because everybody needs to hate something because that's what the internet's about.
Oh, Friday the 13th, 2009 was good, but the same movie, another horror movie that came out the same year, wasn't good. Fuck you. That's how they are. That's how critics are. That's why I'm asking you, I'm like, how do you feel about it and everything?
It's all subjective. It's all in the eye of the beholder. And the reason that people watch review shows is because they want, especially during COVID, they want to hear people talk about things. And it's not about the content, it's about the personalities.
See, that's true, but I'm definitely going to say this and stuff. The one big, I was like, that's why I told you, I'm like, I want to do something with you, you know, and stuff, is because I feel like we're not going to be assholes for everything, because that's what a lot of review shows on YouTube and everything. That's any show. Everybody really goes like into depth, and I'm like,
and I don't want to nitpick things anymore. I want to. You can be a dick and you can point out the stuff that doesn't work for you and things that you think are stupid. But there's also got to be a counterbalance to that. There has to be something in there that you like as well, or then why even bother talking about it? Just being negative for the sake of being negative, you're wasting your time and your energy. That's so stupid to spend your life that way.
That's why I feel like a lot of review shows and everything, they get like so much views and everything because they hate on everything. They want to hear what they have to say. And that's like, you know, like I said about, I said about the movie critic and stuff like that. And everything. He has good stuff to say when he does stuff. But like a lot of the times and everything, I'm sitting there like, why are you hating on this fucking movie from 1953? It's like,
and then, you know, you got to look at.
It's still good though. I mean, he still says at the end of the day, I still love to watch this movie. That's the only, like one of the only people I'm like, that they say, oh yeah, this movie is so horrible, blah, 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 and everything, but it's still good. Like my manager, not my manager, the manager at my local GameStop and everything. That's what I meant to say. My local GameStop. She's so good. She's telling me like this one movie. I forget what she said. It's so good. It's so horrible, but it's so good.
And that's what I've been doing with my reviews. I'm like, this is terrible. Like Pieces is so bad, but it's also fucking great. You know,
I wanted to sit there and start like being like, I have to talk to him about this like another time, but I'm like, I don't want to bother. Like you told me your schedule and stuff, and I'm like, I watched the video and I'm like, I want to be a creep and be like, hey, what's this going? Like, I think this is funny.
I was dead asleep when you were texting me too, and I woke up the next morning and I felt bad. I was like, oh, I don't want this dude to think I'm blowing him off. I was just like, when I'm on sleep meds, when I'm out, I'm fucking out. You know.
What hey, remember. If you fall asleep, I don't give a shit. So I fell asleep on you the one time.
We're talking that's about right. I was waiting for a response, and I'm like, "Fuck that, dude." No,
I wouldn't be wrong with that. But what I say that you could always resume the conversation with me. If you're like, we were talking about a movie, you're like, oh fuck, you're like, oh shit, it's fucking 10 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that. Well, I might. People
will get back to each other when they get back to each other. That's how this works, you know?
That's why
But
I'm like,
yeah.
it's like you randomly talk to me. Not a
Mhm.
problem and everything. You know what I mean? No matter
Works
what
for
it is.
me, man.
That's
Works
why I
for
said
me.
that's why I sent to you. I was like, hey, do you see that fucking gold bar thing?
Hmm. Yeah,
Like,
and I didn't. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about, and I looked it up. I was like, "That's fucking weird."
it's like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, that's why like I had to tell you, like, hey, this should be a
Hmm.
good horror movie, like
Yeah,
alien, stupid
it's like
shit.
Pandora's box kind of thing or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
as like I said about before, I do want to. I had to say this and everything about the we said about you said about movies and the industry and stuff and everything.
Hmm.
I know somebody in doesn't do a TV show anymore. It was a car
Hmm.
TV show and stuff and everything. They do YouTube now and everything.
Yeah.
And and they left because they were always controlling of everything, like of the
Yeah.
like a lot of companies are and everything.
Hmm.
And he did tell me is like they go by the box on your cable.
Yeah.
Do you have cable or no?
I do. I just never use it.
I don't have cable. I have fire
Oh,
sticks
okay.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Government, you didn't hear that. But no, but they say they go by the cable box. And I think that's a
Mhm.
problem with, like you said about the streaming, it's moving
Yeah.
on with things and stuff because they say, oh, there's 500,000 people that just watched it tonight and everything. But then they also
Mhm.
don't talk about the reruns, the recordings, the everything,
Yeah.
because people have jobs, people have life. You're at the movie theater, like, and when they're like, oh, you're like, oh, you're like, I'm doing this, and it's late at night, and I'm like, fuck,
Mhm.
you're still
Yep.
there. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn. It's like I'm
Because it's not going to wait. Things got to get done. And then, it's, because I'm leaving here. I'm going to a meeting now about stuff just to keep things moving. It's like this has to get done. This is how much it's worth. This is who's looking at it. Boom, on to the next thing.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like
Yeah.
but like they do this thing where that's why when he said he's like, listen, he's like, I made money from that, but I also had
Mhm.
because it's a TV show. You actually have to be real. You don't got to do stupid shit and
Yeah.
everything. But he's like, you get 500,000 people watching this, and yes, there's millions of people that love you and everything and stuff.
Mhm.
He's like, you'll go see my YouTube channel where there's half the editing, half the
Yeah.
shit, half the
Yep.
times, not the stupid and everything. 10
Mhm.
million views in an hour. And
Yeah.
he's like, damn. And they don't understand that. And that's the
No,
same thing with streaming too. They
they
don't
don't.
understand.
They don't understand it. It's so foreign to people who've been in this business for so long, and then younger people who get into it or are trying to do it are also trying to tailor it to what they believe too. So you're never going to get a true representation of what the market is. And we're selling a product. Everything is a certain way because that's what's cool and that's what they want to be cool. So
Well, do you think that there ever will be a problem with streaming and the companies coming into the streaming at all? Like, do you think like new people, they'll have a problem and everything with the streaming?
Oh, I see it. My cat like jumps up to be my friend and then just takes off. Do I think there'll be a problem? No, I think it's just going to keep growing. I think that it's the kind of thing where more channels are going to be looking for more content, and you just need people themselves just need to know where to find it, because anything that you're into, there's something out there that exists, but there's so much noise. How do you hone in on the thing that means something to you? That's the biggest thing. How are you able to market yourself that people can find you so that thing that you're into can become popular enough to exist still?
I I I asked that because I feel like Netflix is going to start having a problem. Because when I say this, well, the one thing I'm mad about and everything, I think my streaming / like subscriptions and everything and stuff,
Mhm.
it's at $120.
Cool.
That's not
Yeah.
including my cable.
Yeah.
That's like 100. I mean, not my
Yeah.
cable, my Wi-Fi. So that's kind of
Yeah.
a problem because there's so many things to watch. Like I watch things for free too,
Mhm.
but my wife's like, yeah, but like I hit like hitting a button. I don't like not
Mhm.
hitting something else, whatever and stuff
Yeah.
and everything. Um, but
It's way more expensive here.
what?
My cable bill and all that's the Wi-Fi and all that shit, way more expensive here outside of
Oh,
Philly.
well,
Yeah.
the one thing I was going to say though is I just pay for Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
So if I wanted cable, like my mom
Mhm.
has basic cable for 100
Yeah.
like 150,
Hmm.
and
See,
she had like
I have Xfinity and it's pretty pricey where I am.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, I have Armstrong.
Okay.
So it's kind of where I'm at and everything. Like I
Hmm.
don't know how it's a battle of the whoever owns the contract of the
Of
land.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Hmm.
what I meant by about all this and stuff is I notice a lot of things like on Netflix that get canceled. Okay,
Hmm.
like that. And then it's like has a
Yeah.
huge following and stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's not as good and everything. And I'm like, Was it not as good? And then it's like Disney really hasn't shown the for their, at least Disney Plus and everything, canceling something. They haven't canceled something yet. Like the
But
Book of
Netflix needs to have the new thing always to get the new subscribers. It's not about the old thing. There are certain things like a Stranger Things or whatever. That's fine. That's a brand that you can market outside of that. But there's certain shows that get canceled because they don't have the marketability of them. So it's always about the next thing. Let's create the buzz for the next thing to get people to maybe not sign up for HBO Max, to sign up for Netflix. That's what it's all about. That's just bringing in the new market. They'll be there for X amount of time and then they'll unsubscribe. And that's kind of what it's all about, is that the people who are running at a specific time need to show growth for a certain quarter, and those new subscriptions for a new show that has a bunch of hype scratches that itch, you know?
Yeah, and then it works, but I feel like it's going to start failing because of like what Disney and everything does. Yeah, I know. I was like,
yeah, I'm getting a call.
Oh,
we'll wrap this up. Yeah, it's okay. We can wrap this up. Yeah.
But what I mean by, let me wrap this up real quick.
Yeah.
Disney with the Book of Boba Fett. Okay, it's good. I like it and everything and stuff, but a lot of people didn't like it and they were shitting on it all over the internet. But guess what they just did? They green lighted season 2.
And they're doing an Ahsoka show, and they're doing Obi-Wan show.
I think Disney is like, it sounds horrible because they're this company and everything, but Disney is like, let's do all this shit, see if it works and everything, and if it does work and stuff, keep on throwing shit, because they're not going to cancel Disney Plus because of that. Netflix is more like how you said, they're just throwing out the fucking new things that get people interested in for that first season or 2 or whatever, then get rid of it because they don't need to have it and they want something new.
Disney Plus or Netflix is no longer the only show in town. There are other options. How do you make your option the option that people want to spend their hard-earned money for?
Well, yeah, especially like Disney, they're partnered with Hulu, so like you don't have, you know what I mean. I think companies need to start partnering with each other. I didn't think like Paramount Plus and everything. That's great and all. I think that should be on Netflix instead. I think they should have partnered with that, like Nickelodeon, like cartoon. Like there's a lot of Cartoon Network stuff, even though it's on HBO Max and everything. There's a lot of stuff on Netflix that has like Cartoon Network stuff. And then Netflix does, and then HBO Max does it, and I'm like, what the fuck? They own it.
It's all licensing and rights and all that kind of stuff.
We could get into that another time.
We'll get into that eventually.
Yeah. So, but hey, at least this is the first time podcasts and everything and stuff and everything. If we want to go on and do more things and stuff, like I said,
we would keep talking. If I didn't have to get on this meeting call, we would just keep talking.
Oh Jesus, it'd probably be, we're at the same time zone and everything, so we'd probably be here until like 11 o'clock. They'd be like, no, I don't want to watch that. That's too fucking long. But we'll do a part 2 another time.
For sure,
stuff. Is there
less sad therapy stuff next time? I promise.
Yeah, let's talk about more movies and everything. We talk about random shit, but we'll do, like I said, we'll do fucking Friday the 13th, and we'll talk about this again if that's okay. If you're okay, you want to do this again? You want to do this again? Okay, that sounds great and stuff. Even if it only gets 20 views.
Who cares? And half of them are just me watching it over and over again,
The one question I do want to ask you before you go, because it's dying me as like a fan to know and everything. What the fuck are people talking about when they say you're in the Revenge of the Fallen Transformers? Are you?
Oh, I am in that movie.
Where are you at?
You can only see like part of my head. They
filmed long hair.
Huh?
Is it long
hair?
No,
I had short, spiky hair at that point.
Really? Because when I look at all your old stuff, it's that long hair. You got sideburns.
I had to cut my hair for it. It was in 2008. They shot it. They filmed outside of Philadelphia, like closer to Westchester, Pennsylvania. And they filmed the college scene where Shia LaBeouf like freaks out in the thing, and Rainn Wilson is the teacher. They shot all of the first unit stuff, and then they realized they had no coverage for the cast like reacting. So I went in and was part of that B roll stuff. I was supposed to be just a crowd manager, and then they needed more younger looking people. So I kept getting moved for those days into different spots in the classroom. So I was just there for the second unit director. So I'm like, you can see the side of my head at one point and then the back of my head at another point. It's weird the way it was. They just had to keep moving people around. Yeah.
Did you get paid good to do that at all? Is it
I got paid. Yeah, I got, it was $150 a day plus what I got for being on camera. So I don't
Really?
remember. I don't get a residual check or anything like that. But
I mean, if you get to, I think you have to be in credits to get that residual
yeah.
check and everything.
But no, so that was my whole thing, was just I came to be that, and they were like, hey, you look young enough, come here, you could look like a college student. And they would just throw different shirts on me and move me around as they shot it till they had enough coverage.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that, because I was like, everybody always, they're like Revenge of the Fallen on the on all the old show, and I was like,
and I'll leave you with this. I've never seen that scene, because when it was the night that it screened in my movie theater, I left because the movie was so bad and went and had sex in the projection booth.
damn, you did it good. You're like, fuck this shit. Good and everything. Well, hey guys and everything. Well, thank you guys for watching the podcast and everything. We'll do another part 2. We'll be doing a review of Friday the 13th and stuff sometime soon and everything. We'll be talking about, I guess, because we didn't get to talk about it and everything. We'll talk about Bongo the Clown next time and everything. Hey, you're on the cover.
I have a good story about that one too.
Yes, that was the one thing, the one thing and stuff that was like, I had to talk. I had a list of shit. I didn't even get to talk about all the things on Underbelly and everything.
I'll come back.
Oh no, I was like, I went off topic. We both went off topic. That's a problem.
What we do.
But all right, man. Well, I will check you later. But yeah, see you guys and everything. We'll see you guys next time for part 2 and stuff, and then for anything else we do and everything.
All right. You have a good night, guys.